passed away at the age of 49 after battling diabetes. Remembered for 11 years of service, previously as municipal clerk for 8 years, Iriarty's legacy includes youth and senior programs earning recognition beyond Sinhanya. Funeral arrangements are being made. And the Guam Election Commission has scheduled a January 12th special meeting focusing on the late Vice Mayor Rudy Don Iriarty's vacancy. Guam law mandates a special election 60 days after a mayor or vice mayor's vacancy if over 240 days from the next general election. Iriarty's passing exceeds this threshold. The special election is on the 2nd of March, pending board approval. Candidates eyeing Sinahanya's vice mayor position have less than a month to file their packets. And those are your local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray.
Roger that. 6:35 in the morning in the Ray Gibson Show. Listen, I got a break. Put the YouTube is online right now, and the first guy to check in usually is Kichitsu in Japan, and that is the case this morning. $139 yen in exchange for your dollar at the DoD Community Bank. That number might be going back up to 140 here soon as the yen weakened a little bit more today. Space photos show Japan's ground splitting open and mass destruction after that powerful 7.6 magnitude earthquake, and the death toll continues to rise out in Japan. We have not yet gotten to a point, I think, around here where people are putting together opportunities to raise funds or at least awareness for groups like the Japan Club, etc. But if you've got something like that going, want to do that, maybe get some supplies from Guam, so show them some love from around here, let us know about it. 888-8255, 888-TALK, or put it in the me machine, which is 797-8255. Tiggle Biddy's online. Yay. On station, Bad Boy 671 Barbecue, likewise hanging out with us on the YouTube side. 635, more like that on the way. Since 1997, Island Eye Institute has been committed to your family's eye care needs. From its beginnings, Island Eye Institute has recognized the value in incorporating state-of-the-art technology into personalized care and the commitment to excellence. As Guam's complete eye center, our specialists offer their expertise in glaucoma, retina, cornea, LASIK, cataract, and diabetic eye disease. Island Eye accepts select care, net care, take care, and stay well. Call us at 637-2020 to schedule your appointment today. We're located on the second floor of the Baltesh Pavilion in Tamuning.
Guam Regional Medical City, the island's leader in specialty services, now provides Guam's only rheumatology care. GRMC welcomes Dr. Jirapat Tirakanok, a double board-certified rheumatologist who specializes in the care of rheumatoid arthritis, gout, lupus, osteoporosis, and more. Take the next step towards relief. Call GRMC's referral office at 671-633-GRMC. That's 671-633-4762.
All right, here it comes the traffic noise. That must mean it's time. It's too early for this. 6:37. There's nobody on the road. What did I not take?
Yeah, everyone's got their resolution going. They're out there, Ray.
Yeah, whatever. You know what? I can't tell you how delighted I am not to have a resolution right now. I just feel absolutely no pressure whatsoever, although, as I said, my perihelion is a little bit itchy this morning. What have we got here? Looking at to see if there's anything like traffic this early in the morning. I got to refresh the screen here. Tiny bit of traffic up in the north end of town, maybe just a couple of guys that are on their phone and don't realize the light turned green already up at the entrance to Jigo. Otherwise, southbound Marine Corps Drive, running clear all the way to 810. No, I'm sorry, all the way to 1 and 16. You're going to get some intersection traffic in there, as the case is generally around this time of the morning. Might see a little bit of traffic on your way down to Harmon Loop. 8, 10, and 16 running fairly clear right now. Don't see a whole lot of traffic there. 10 and 15 maybe a little bit busy. Starting to look like there's a couple of hot spots on Route 4 on the way into town. Route 8 looks like we might have a couple of opportunities for dogging out as you make your way into town there. I'm not sure exactly what I'm looking at, but it look maybe something over at that weird part of the intersection over by the old Pokey Fry. I miss Pokey Fry. And let me see. Into the downtown Agutnia area, nothing major. Southbound Marine Corps Drive through Adelup, Assun Peedy, etc. Not so bad. All the way down to Big Navy in Sumai. Good time to enjoy the drive at 6:38 on the Ray Gibson Show.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile Team, conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3. Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545, Upper Tumon 671-647-5626, or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-8255.
6:40 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. The question is somebody at United going to get fired? That's you were here the first time I brought this story up, right? About the big fantasy time travel excursion, and there were a handful of flights around the planet where people could get on the airplane on the first few hours of New Year's Day, the first few hours of 2024, and then fly to another destination where magically it was still 2023. United Airlines was like, "You only live once, baby. Come on, let's get this. You need to get to Guam. Get to Guam. We'll put you on a flight. You'll be able to enjoy the drone show, Charlie Hermosa's drone show, and Jeff Jam's fireworks, the pyrotechnics on Guam. And then you get on a United flight, and then you fly to Honolulu, Hawaii, and you will arrive in time to do over your New Year's Eve. You'll be traveling in time." And then there was a maintenance issue somewhere, and by the time it left Guam, it was 17 hours delayed, which ate up all of the cushion that they had. So technically,
So sorry.
all these people that bought these tickets and they were all nice 777 lay down seats, airplane tickets. They arrived in the wrong year, a year late. And the reason why I bring it up is, this is like 3 days ago, right? But it is still one of the big stories. I do a Google search for Guam and United Airlines, and this has come up, and it's virtually the only story that's pinging, and there's eight pages of them. I'm not going to read all of them. This one here from an outfit called 1 Mile at a Time says, "Oops, United Airlines time travel flight lands in the wrong year." Airline travelers, Fox Weather, airline travelers take off in 2024, but reach their destinations in 2023. But not this time. Back to the Future blunder. United's special flight 200 lands in the wrong year. Passengers hope this time-traveling flight would give them 2 New Year's Eves. This is CNN now reporting this. I guess the CNN might still have 1 or 2 people watching them. United messed up special flight to let people celebrate New Year's Eve twice. This is Business Insider. You've heard of them. Outlook India. United Airlines New Year's time travel flight lands passengers in the wrong year.
Wow, what the flux capacitor.
Passengers hopped aboard a United flight in Guam. That's the beginning of the story in the Mirror that says passengers on time travel flight fuming as they miss out on celebrating New Year's Eve twice. Times of India, CNBC. All kinds. It's just like everybody's is in on this. I'm looking for a couple of other names that you might know. New York Post, flyers trying to celebrate New Year's twice, furious about mishap ruins plans. Who else is Business News? Time Machine, United flight passengers angry after crash, plans to celebrate New Year's Eve twice. Passengers hope this time travel flight would give them 2 New Year's Eves. Business News covering the story. It's like everybody. This is so WION. People took time travel flight to celebrate New Year's twice, but they landed in the wrong year. And just amazing the number. So I wonder, USA Today, failed time travel flight messed up a double New Year's celebration. Chicago Sun-Times reporting. NBC News is there. There's WAPO. Passengers booked a flight to celebrate New Year's twice. It was delayed. Money Control, Futurism, Aero Time, all kinds of other people continue to crow about this. And here's the thing. We laugh about it because, it is kind of funny. And I can only imagine that the people that bought those tickets on the doomed flight, probably well-heeled people. I'm not going to say that they're big enough to be on Epstein's list, but well-heeled people, and I just kind of going suckers. But the other thing is, I don't want it to blow back on Guam. So we got to figure out a way. And I don't know whether maybe GVB has got a team of people working on this, working on United, because somebody's. I don't care where the problem was. The deal was you were supposed to leave Guam, and I don't want them to think that the problem was in Guam or something that we did. Our guys on, I'm going to use an airline term. I don't really understand it, but I'm going to use it anyway, that our ramp guys screwed up one way or another. Our tech guys. No, right?
So you got to blame TSA, Ray. For making you take off your shoes. That took all the time.
Somebody with stinky feet wouldn't let us look in the luggage. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. Anyway, 6:44 in the morning, 888-255-888-TALK. Sean says, listening on the app, YouTube appears to be down. It's up now, bro. I just, it's me. There's like 3 things that I got to click, and I only got to 2 of them before I moved on to something else. I had that feeling like I missed a step somewhere, but I just wasn't sure where it was. Don't make me quit my job and leave Guam and move away. But if you are going to be moving away, United Van Lines has a story that came out. A little bit of it was on the Fox News yesterday, but they were making a big deal about the cities that people were leaving for whatever reason. And that's interesting, but I want to find out where, the guys over at United Van Lines, obviously, among the bigger moving companies in the United States mainland, I wanted to see where people were moving to. So we'll go over both of those lists real quick. You can find them at UnitedVanLines.com/newsroom. Or just go to United Van Lines and scroll all the way to the bottom until you see the word newsroom. And anyway, the places where people are losing population. The places where cities and states where people are moving out. At number 8, Kansas. As in, we're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. Or if you're from Guam, I don't think we're in Toto anymore, Kansas. Massachusetts.
Boston.
Maybe there's something about that, or the fact that there's far too many consonants in that state name. California at number 6.
No,
I'll say California.
They didn't make number 1,
right? You would think,
as
much as you hear about people going, that's it, we're leaving, we're getting out of here. At number 5, Michigan. And at number 4, it's New York, followed by number 3, North Dakota, where Ray McGravy is.
Yeah, we have a listener there. Yeah.
Hey, bro, there's more room in North Dakota.
He's buying up all the land
now. Get all of it, bro. At number 2, Illinois.
Chicago.
Mm-hmm. And at number 1, New Jersey.
Oh, of course.
Is losing a whole bunch of people. 2023 top outbound of folks that are leaving. And so, okay, those are the places that are losing population. And you might be looking at it going, blue states, whatever. I mean, that's what they get for having, lousy governors and having people in there that don't care about the rates of crime and, just kind of upside down societies. But, there's also the fact that there are some places where, wow, it's cold here all the time. I want to go live someplace where I don't have to worry about bundling up into 17 layers of clothes. And the cost for being able to keep the house relatively warm in the wintertime has got to be going up for some people. So, let's see where where people are moving to. Now, this is odd because it doesn't show up the same way I've seen the reporting done in other pieces of research. But mind you, this is United Van Lines people. So at number 10, the top inbound states. Now, I'm not suggesting that you take a list here and go, okay, Ray Gibson said if things get sideways here on Guam, maybe we ought to consider moving to these places. That's not what I'm saying at all. Preferably, you stay here and fix stuff. But if you just can't take it anymore, or maybe you're thinking about where you want to send yourself or your kids to college, at number 10, West Virginia. At number 9, New Mexico. Number 8 is Alabama. Sweet home. Alabama.
Yeah.
Number 7, South Dakota. At number 6, North Carolina. And, as much as I'd like to think that I'm probably going to die on the radio if I were able to work it out, that would be a great place to die. Certain sections over in the western parts of North Carolina that are just absolutely gorgeous 365 days a year. Rhode Island at number 5. Lots and lots of people are moving into Arkansas at number 4, South Carolina at number 3. The only problem with number 6 and number 3, South and North Carolina, is you got a lousy football team. Carolina Panthers. It's they've been there for a long time. They really haven't been able to just coalesce and turn into something that you can expect the same thing from every year. But just losing. So I don't know about that. Washington D.C. is among the top inbound places. Yeah, right? That's number 2. Washington, D.C.
Did you see me roll my eyes over here, man?
Isn't that like the number 2 crime place on the planet now? Is it like Chicago and now Washington, D.C.?
It's great if you have bodyguards, Ray.
Maybe even that. At number 1, Vermont. At number 1 is Vermont. So your assignment, Real Joe, while I'm talking to somebody on the phone, is
what goes on.
What happens in Vermont
stays in
Vermont. Is
Vermont
for
Ray.
lovers? No, this Virginia is for lovers. What is it? I want the slogan. I want to know what the state bird is, what the state fruit is, and is this one of those places where you can feel relatively free of DEI, direct instruction, critical race theory, and all of that? I'm just hoping that Vermont might be one of the last places in the United States of America where everybody knows how to get along with everybody else and hasn't been poisoned yet by politics and the media. Is it possible Vermont is that kind of place? While you're doing that, let's see who's on the line. Speaking of runners, we're talking about runners this morning. Real Joe just started doing running-like activities yesterday. Took his time, got a mile worth of walking in, and getting ready for that 5K marathon coming up before.
All the doctors are doing it, Ray.
All the doctors are doing it.
Makes you wonder.
Dr. Hao Nguyen was reached out to me this morning and sent me a video expressing concerns about what he is seeing at the labor and delivery ward at Guam Memorial Hospital. Buenas and Day, Doc. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, Ray.
Yes, it is.
Just the video is from one of the famous, Dr. Shea sent to me, and it kind of amazing how we spend our money at GMH with no responsibility. It's crazy, right?
Well, and having made it through the public auditor's 50-page report on their revenue cycle management contract that seems to be rife with a number of errors, beginning at the worst kind of procurement there is. Nothing about GMH surprises me at all. So, but the caption is kind of confusing. There's a fan and a split type air conditioner in one of the rooms at the labor and delivery ward. Are they working?
So what the L&D nursing staff was asking is that, to make sure that this is all new split AC, but I'm not sure who would allow a company to go in and install split AC with no power. It's just amazing. So that split AC is brand new with no power. It's not running. So the patient, the labor and delivery, the patient going there to deliver, have a fan on, but that AC just on the wall, not working. There's no power. But my question is, who would hire somebody to put a split AC in every room with no power? It's just amazing. Whoever allowed that contract should be fired, should be replaced. It's just.
Well, there's a long list of people I think that fit that capacity, fit that description at Guam Memorial Hospital. We know that they had issues with their chillers and should have received $30 million from the legislature to pay down the vendors. I'm sure you're on the list as well. But another $20 million was supposed to have been sent over by the governor's office to take care of some of the pressing issues at Guam Memorial Hospital. I would assume that air conditioning would be one of them. I never thought it was a good idea to go in there with split air conditioners. Split AC is fine in the house. In a bedroom, living room. If it goes sideways, you got another one in the house that you might be able to turn on. But for industrial operations, places where people's lives are at stake, I would have gone in there and as quickly as possible made whatever repairs or replacements to the big multi-ton units that they've got on the roof. Apparently, that still hasn't happened.
Yeah, it's not happening. Those split AC probably never going to run, and it's going to be sit there and rusted and put a hole in the wall at GMH. It's, like I said, it's a really waste of money, and we would like to ask to see if they can go in there and make sure those split AC work for the pregnant patient who go in there for delivery. You can see the baby carriage right there, and it's a fan, and the AC just look at you. It's not working. They really need to have that priority and make those at least temporary AC work for this patient. So that's what the video for you for, and GMH need to step up. I mean, Lillian, Kendall, they all need to be responsible to make sure those things work by the end today or tomorrow. And it's unimaginable.
Well, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's shameful, Doc. I mean, I if I had somebody that I love getting ready to deliver a baby in that hospital and find out that the air conditioner doesn't work in a labor and delivery room, I'm like, no, let's go someplace else and deliver the baby. I'll deliver the baby in a van.
I know, but it needs to be brought up so that way it puts some light on someone's butt there and make sure those things working by at least this week or next week, so make it more comfortable for the patient to deliver there. So,
well, how about comfortable for the people that work at the hospital to work there?
I know. Yeah, so that's what the thing is. It's not just on L&D. Some of the ward AC are also on the wall, and they are not working. There's no power source to it. So they just put the AC up there for the look, and that's it. You're done. I'm not sure. I mean, that's whoever responsible for that.
Well, maybe there's another contract here that they've got to get through, and for somebody to run the electricity on the outside wall, so that.
I would do that first, Ray, before I put
I agree. I would have. Yes, I would have sourced the electricity first before I called the aircon kuya to put it in.
Yeah, and anyway, but the other thing is that the billing, right? I look at that thing and they keep writing off things like, okay, Ray, we own our own medical center and we do our own billing, and I mean, I don't know, the board trustee and Lillian, every month, we sit down with our staff and look at the AR, the 30 days, 60 days, 9 days, and 120 days, and we know exactly where we are, and the key here is to build things out. 100% bill by the end of the 2 weeks mark. When you see the patient, you either bill the next day or you bill a week later.
Yeah.
But you have a running tab with the AR. I have absolutely no idea how you can run a hospital without knowing exactly what the AR is, 30, 60, 920 days. That's something that the board trustee and Leland should be on top of it every month. I just unimaginable that, you have absolutely no idea. You cannot write off 2009, 2022. I mean, who keep up with the AR? You know exactly what company it is. So it's just amazing. This is where the responsibility lay on the CEO. If you have no responsibility on collection and you keep getting paid and not be afraid to be replaced, you keep doing the same thing, or if you're short of money, you're going to ask for more money.
Well, that has always been the case with Guam Memorial Hospital. As long as I've been doing talk radio, even before doing talk radio, we can go back almost every budget cycle at the legislature where they come crawling on their knees to the legislature talking about, we're not collecting as much as we should, and we've got this much outstanding, we've got that much outstanding. We need a bailout from the legislature and the taxpayers. And every time they ask, they get it. But they never actually correct any of the issues that lead to that. They keep falling on the same sword. Well, we've got to take every patient that comes, regardless of their ability to pay.
No, that's a poor excuse. I tell you, the billing for for us and for the hospital had to be done by a certified coder, and it's not the private insurance fault not to pay on time.
Right.
If you don't bill correctly, everything is negotiated already. All you do is bill the right code, and you get paid. But if you don't bill the right code, the insurance will not pay. So my question is, how many certified coder they have at GMH? I mean, that's the main thing. When the board trustee, half of the coder are not certified. I mean, this is where you cannot function without a certified biller on your staff to make sure everything billed correctly. The insurance company would love it if you don't bill correctly because you miss something.
Oh, yeah.
They're not going to pay you, and that's the part where Lillian and whoever the CEO, CFO is, they need to be on top of this thing. Man, my goodness, it's inexcusable to write off that much amount because you are not responsible.
I'm trying to think, and at the top of I used to know a few of these billers. None of them worked in the public sector. They had their good jobs and worked out in the private sector in some of the FHPs, take cares, et cetera, and private clinics. And they made decent money. And the reason was because they were good at what they did and could certify with a great degree of accuracy what they were sending to the people that owed them money, so that they were reasonably assured that they would get every dollar that they were billing. And I don't know how large the population is here on Guam. I don't know how many that we've got at Guam Memorial, and I don't know how many of them. I don't know to what degree their EHR and their revenue management systems have been updated to include the updated roles, the updated codes for everything that is billable in a hospital.
Yeah, that's important. We always make fun, right? I know that we, as a medical center, have more certified coder than GMH. It's sad. That's a reality, right? I mean, a medical center have more, certified coder than the hospital.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. That's why you cannot collect.
And that's what's going to happen when we open up the new one out in Manila at Eagles Field or wherever it's going to go. Or the same old problems are going to follow it to the new location. That's the big problem. Doc, I got to break away. I've got the news coming up. I'll see you soon.
Okay.
I appreciate the video.
Okay, thanks, Ray.
Stand
Put
by.
a light on them. Okay,
we'll shine a light. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. KUSG again. Your 3-time Speaker's Best.
Record migrant encounters in recent weeks. We're also ramping up criticism. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas.
We can expect these House Republicans to really go after President Biden and Secretary Mayorkas over their handling of the southern border. And these House Republicans are now escalating their impeachment effort into Secretary Mayorkas. Fox News confirming this morning that their first official impeachment inquiry hearing into Mayorkas will be set for January 10th. That is 1 week from today, as migrants continue spilling across the southern border. 5 Republican congressmen are kind of branching off from that big delegation today, apart from Speaker Johnson's event, doing their own thing, telling me they are willing to shut down the federal government if this border isn't shut down.
Fox's Bill Maloogian in Eagle Pass, Texas. More than 100 Iranians dead after 2 explosions in that country. It happened during an event honoring an Iranian general that was killed in a U.S. drone strike 4 years ago. There's no word on who's behind these latest explosions. Hundreds of prisoners of war returned to their homeland in a major swap between Russia and Ukraine.
The Ukrainian government says 230 prisoners of war returned home from Russia. Russia's defense ministry says that 248 of its servicemen have also been freed in a prisoner swap sponsored by the United Arab Emirates. It comes nearly 2 years into the ongoing war and the deadly fighting as missile strikes have ratcheted up on both sides in recent days, prompting officials in Kyiv to ask its Western allies for more air defense support. NATO today announcing support for billions of dollars worth of surface-to-air Patriot-guided missiles for member nations to send to Ukraine.
That's
Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
America is listening to Fox News.
Since 1997, Island Eye Institute has been committed to your family's eye care needs. From its beginnings, Island Eye Institute has recognized the value in incorporating state-of-the-art technology into personalized care and a commitment to excellence. As Guam's complete eye center, our specialists offer their expertise in glaucoma, retina, cornea, LASIK, cataract, and diabetic eye disease. Island Eye accepts Select Care, Net Care, Take Care, and Stay Well. Call us at 637-2020 to schedule your appointment today. We're located on the 2nd floor of the Baltesh Pavilion in Tamuning.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545, Upper Tumon 671-647-5626, or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
Despite his legal trouble and efforts to remove him from state ballots, Donald Trump continues to pick up key GOP endorsements.
Former President Trump now has the backing of all top GOP House leaders, with the latest endorsement coming from Majority Whip Tom Emmer. Emmer saying on social media, quote, "It's time for Republicans to unite around our party's clear frontrunner." The former president bashed the number 3 House Republican during his bid for Speaker back in October, calling him a, quote, globalist rhino or Republican in name only, and that voting for him would be a, quote, tragic mistake. Majority Leader Steve Scalise officially endorsed former President Trump earlier this week. In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
Meantime, many of his primary rivals continue to try and narrow the gap with the Republican frontrunner in polling numbers. Nikki Haley saying 4 more years of Donald Trump is not what the country needs.
Rightly or wrongly, chaos follows Trump. It always does. It just follows him. And we are a country in disarray. We've got a world on fire, and we can't go through 4 more years of chaos. We won't survive it. You don't fix Democrat chaos with Republican chaos.
Speaking there to Fox News, investigations into New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez, the Democrat, is accused of accepting bribes, including from foreign governments, the latest from Qatar. Now, some Republicans see a potential opening to pick up a Senate seat in the deep blue state.
And what country has been not only hosting, but protecting the leadership of Hamas, a terrorist organization? Qatar. I mean, this is a very interesting web that needs to be unwoven. We need to continue to see this in the news.
Mendham, New Jersey Mayor Christine Serrano-Glasner speaking there to Fox News. A major winter storm could hit the East Coast this weekend with what would be the first significant snowfall in 2 years in the cities in the Northeast, including New York and Philadelphia. The exact track of the storm, though, is still unsettled, so millions of folks be keeping an eye on that in the coming days. I'm Tom Graham, and this is Fox News.
Celebrating New Year's 2024, Whopper Wednesday is back. Every Wednesday in January, visit participating Burger King restaurants and say, "I love the Whopper," and get a free flame grilled Whopper sandwich with the purchase of any large-size Whopper combo meal. Top off your meal with French fries, onion rings, or halvesies, and a refreshing Coca-Cola. Tell your family and friends and enjoy your Whopper Wednesday only in January. Available at BK Hagutnya, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. Happy New Year, Guam, from your friends at Burger King. You rule.
Stay cool all year round by checking out Johnstone Supply for your HVAC and refrigeration needs. Located at 170 Guerrero Drive on Picanell Road in Tamuning, call Johnstone Supply today at 671-649-0581. That's 671-649-0581. Open 8 a.m. to noon and 1 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Open Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and closed on Sundays. Stay cool with Johnstone Supply.
For all your real estate needs, call the professionals at Hoffaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, and Lolita, and they'll take care of you on every step of the real estate process. No worries. Just contact Hoffaday Realty at 588-4232 or 588-HOFFA, or email them at hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. They're at 426 Challenge San Antonio, Suite 204 in Tamuning. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. Hoffaday Realty for all your real estate needs.
Your 7 o'clock local news is brought to you by AB Risk Solutions.
Hoffaday at 7:06. I'm Donna DeJesus. Here's a look at your local news on The Point. A routine traffic stop led to the arrest of 38-year-old Roy Craig Guerrero. He handed an officer a bag of drugs, fearing jail time, saying, "There's ice inside. I can't stay in jail too long," and urging the officer to dispose of its contents. Guerrero's unlit rear license plate prompted the stop in Sinajana. Upon inspection, the pouch revealed 4 bags of meth and drug paraphernalia. Guerrero faces felony charges for possession. The incident unfolded with Guerrero's admission of the plate switch, followed by his unusual attempt to hand over the drug-filled pouch to the officer, hoping to avoid legal consequences. Meanwhile, an audit by the OPA revealed that GMH provided preferential treatment and unreasonable contract terms to its revenue cycle management contractor, MedHealth Solutions. The audit questioned $4.9 million in costs, highlighting GMH's deficiencies in procurement laws and favoritism toward MedHealth. The report pointed out that the consultancy's effectiveness didn't improve the hospital's finances, leading to only 47 to 48% revenue collection during the contract versus 58 to 59% before. The OPA's audit stemmed from a citizen's concern, critiquing GMH's flawed procurement process and contractor compensation terms. In response, GMH revised its procurement procedures and expressed disagreements with OPA's conclusions. More news after this.
Whoever said no risk, no reward has never been sued. Hi, I'm Dave Silva from AB Risk Solutions, and our job for over 70 years has been to help businesses just like yours manage risk. Manage risk? We will never be able to totally eliminate the myriad of risks every business faces, but we can help you manage them and recover when disaster strikes. From mom and pop operations to high-rise hotels, we're the experts businesses have counted on for many years. Call me today at 777-2668 for a free risk review and consultation.
AB Risk Solutions, formerly known as Aon.
Several vape shops on Guam are closing to oppose a proposed bill banning certain vape products, aiming to ban flavored e-liquids like fruity and pastry flavors. Senator Tom Fisher's Bill 50 targets reducing youth access to vaping. Violating the ban could incur fees up to $2,000. Vape retailers are temporarily closing to highlight the impact of these regulations on adult consumers and businesses. These retailers emphasize the importance of balanced regulations and invite people to testify against the bill, sharing how vaping has helped them quit smoking. They fear such a ban could increase traditional cigarette use, affecting public health. And the Guam Youth Congress has presented Resolution 15, spotlighting a drastic cut in scholarship funds for FSM students at UOG. The FSM National Congress allocated only $500,000 for the National Scholarship Fund, an 83% drop from the previous year's $3 million. Representative Austin Fortuno introduced the resolution urging FSM's national government to address concerns about reduced funding impacting students' education and aspirations. The resolution seeks communication between FSM and Guam governments for solutions. If approved, it will be sent to FSM's president and Congress speaker for consideration. And those are your top stories. Back to Ray with weather.
I got you. And we'll get some weather around here. It's an encouragement for Real Joe, though, who's beginning I'm just going to say welcome to the cult. And it is. And it is. I'll tell you a little bit later on about, if you're not ready for the 5K this week, there's a 10-miler next week that you might be able to get ready for.
Yeah, what about my corn?
You don't. corn panties tear. It's 7:10 in the morning. If you made it to day 3 of your New Year's resolution, congratulations. We knew you could do it, and you're probably a little bit further along than people who gave up just the first day after and said, that sucks, not doing that again. If you're already starting to get burned out, some simple advice from Savannah Sajdev. She is a TikTok influencer who has been running, get this now, 900 days straight.
Oh, my God,
Oh,
Boris.
my God, Becky. Oh, my God. Boils, yes. 900 straight days. First of all, she says...
I want to see her feet, Ray.
Oh, my God, hammer time. First, it's okay to start out slow. Second, think of your goal as a form of self-care instead of a chore. And finally, don't be intimidated by those who have been doing it for a lot longer. And then wherever you train, you're going to find somebody that's going to be running faster or sweatier or finishing up 10 miles, and you're just starting your 1. And it can sometimes be intimidating. Don't let it be. Everybody's on their own road, their own path. And just try to keep it up. Mostly sunny if you're going to try to keep it up today. Highs near 87 degrees. East-southeast winds 6 to 14 miles an hour. Got partly cloudy skies and overnight lows of about 77 degrees. East-southeast winds tonight 5 to 8 miles an hour, becoming calm later on. You'll appreciate those calm nights when the wind's not in your face. Isolated showers tomorrow, but mostly sunny skies with highs near 87 degrees. Did I yet mention that tomorrow is Friday? It's now is a perfect time to start celebrating it, just by the way. Light east-northeast winds, east 5 to 9 miles an hour in the morning, and then mostly cloudy skies at night. Mostly sunny in the forecast for Saturday. Great news. Highs near 87 degrees. East wind 6 to 15 miles an hour, gusting as high as about 20. So if you've got plans to go out and do some hiking this weekend, looks like it's going to be great. Not a whole lot of rain, so it shouldn't be too terribly muddy. Maybe a little bit less lepto in the streams that you're going to be going through. Just watch out for the LFAs. Sunrise this morning was at 6:45. Do I have pictures from Jeff Pirates Cove celebrating, heralding this new day, the first Thursday of 2024? Year of our Lord 2024. Yeah, I actually do have some sunrise pictures. 6:06 is for sunset tonight, and this is what it looked like when the sun started to break the plain over on the eastern side of the island. Another gorgeous day set up for us, and we got that great, gorgeous start from over at Pirates Cove. Great place to go and get yourself, I don't know, burger, chicken wings, cold beer, something like that. 7:12 in the morning. It's news and weather together on The Point.
A better tomorrow starts today with Wendy's Breakfast. A tomorrow that says bake can, not bake can't, where fresh eggs reign brain like opportunity. At Wendy's, we don't ask what tomorrow holds, but rather what will you hold tomorrow? Will it be the breakfast Baconator or our morning melt panini? Or our new sausage, egg, and cheese English muffin paired with our new frosty cream cold brew? No matter what you choose, tomorrow's looking good. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's breakfast today.
Yikes! Are those expensive credit card bills arriving? Well, we can help. Bank Pacific has launched our New Year's Resolution Solution personal loan with annual percentage rates as low as 7.49%. Ready to pay off your credit cards or for whatever you want, starting at 7.49% APR. Apply in person or online at bankpacific.com and come join us. We're still celebrating. Equal credit opportunity lender. Conditions apply. Happy New Year.
What's that? What do I see here? Portions of the program brought to you by APL American President Lines. They are delivering the future, and the team over at NissanGuam.com, and I've been waiting days to tell you all about this. Nissan Guam makes it easy for you to get into a brand new Nissan. Sign and drive away. Here's what we got for you. We got sedans, crossovers, SUVs, the rugged Frontier, the mighty Titan, savings over $7,000 on the rugged Frontier, the mighty Titan, savings over $10,000. What you want to do is you get pre-approved for financing. See the Nissan finance experts today. Visit the Upper Tumon showroom or visit NissanGuam.com on the World Wide Web. And here's the other thing about the deal. Like I said, sign and drive away. The first 6 months payments are on Nissan. Wait, hold on. And I'm getting a discount? Yes, you're getting a massive discount. Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars off the sticker price on the car. And you don't have to write anybody a check for the first 6 months. I told you not to buy anything last week, right? Aren't you glad you listened now? NissanGuam.com.
It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
At 7:15 in the morning, 888-8255, 888-TALK. Lots and lots going on, lots on the agenda here. Got to catch everybody in spots where we can. Everybody is busy these days. Things apparently moving along over at the legislature. Steps being taken now to figure out what the agenda is going to be for the first session of 2024. But there's a couple of other lingering questions that I might want to ask somebody over at the legislature. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Barnett, my friend. How you doing there?
Good morning, Guam. Long time, Ray. Long time.
Not so.
Last year.
I was going to say, we're both 11 years old when it comes to that joke. Isn't that great? So
That's a good one.
I know it is. So I got a thing, and all the other questions I could ask you about what's going on with the Department of Education. It gets juicier and juicier every time we look at it. But I got this. And it says that the legislature, everybody at the legislature could get fired in the middle of the weekend here unless there's some kind of a resolution 285 that gets passed in order to fix it, which basically extends a deadline that is up this weekend until January 5th or 6th next year. Tell me, back that up for me. Where'd this start?
It's a typo, Ray. There was a typo in our standing rules. As everybody knows, legislative employees serve, as we do, a 2-year term. And the standing rules went to print with a typo saying instead of the legislative employee's appointment expiring next year at the end of the term, it says it expires this year. So working closely with council, it's really more of a technical correction that I'm very confident my colleagues will support, so we can just kind of keep moving and avoid any reprocessing of employees that may happen if we don't get this thing passed in time.
So when will you and your colleagues have a chance to talk about Resolution 285? Because the clock is ticking and it's already Thursday morning.
It sure is. Well, I've got it circulating out for all my colleagues, and we have a rules meeting on the 10th, so I'm trying to get it onto the amended agenda. But really, I don't want to bring too much attention to it. I know you always got your lingering questions, but it really is kind of a technical correction, and I don't foresee it. Nobody's going to lose their job.
Okay. All right. Well, they're nothing more dramatic than Gov Guam dramatics, and but it seems to me, every other day there's something new that just surprises me and think, wow, this is getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And you start looking around at what's going on over at the Department of Education. Kids went back to school after a couple of weeks off for the holidays, and some kids went into a classroom, and some kids went into their online learning, and now we come to find out that some of this online learning is going to be a little bit more tougher for these kids because apparently the Wi-Fi contract is over, and there's nothing new to replace it yet.
Yeah, Ray. Somebody at GDOE, the top-heavy leadership, dropped the ball on this, and it's really disappointing that the way we found out about it was parents came back from Christmas break and basically turned on their MiFis to get to work on those online assignments, and they found out it was disconnected. I had a call from one parent who called for that. I don't know if it's IT&E or whichever carrier, and they were told, "Oh, whoops, sorry, no money, no honey." And so, yeah, it's unfortunate that there wasn't that preparation and planning to ensure an uninterrupted service for. And remember, the people who were given the MiFis to, these are some of our most vulnerable, and like every family pretty much in public school. So I don't know who dropped the ball up top at GDOE, but somebody did, and now we're in a position where we're scrambling to get this thing done. So I hope they just get it done right. I'm actually at GW this morning, Ray. I'm parking at my alma mater, home of the Geckos. They had an incident yesterday, but I'm here this morning because Principal Fulo invited me to check out the gym. They're reopening the gym this morning.
Whoa.
After, so it's been about a year. Man, it's crazy. I was here about a year ago, and I met with some seniors, and at the time the project had gone out to bid, so it looked like we were going to get this work done within last school year. So I remember telling them, because DOE was telling me, like, hey, it's looking good, we're going to get it done. And I was like, man, I think we're going to get this done this school year. And unfortunately, there's some funny business with that first bid, so it didn't get done this school year. Now here we are in the next school year. But I'm just really fortunate. GW has been without a home gym for, man, I want to say it's been about 5 years or so. So really glad that the Geckos are going to be back on track. And it's some good positive news. Even yesterday was over at Sanchez and recognized the students at Sanchez and some of the staff, because they missed their home village at Jigo, so they did this drive. They got some very great donations, got a lot of gifts themselves, and they get a load of this, they gave a gift to every student at DL Perez Elementary, Machinana Elementary, and UPI Elementary, the three northern schools, and the only schools that GDOE is operating in the northern district, which it still boggles my mind that we don't have a high school or a middle school servicing the north. So, Sanchez, really, they've got their share of issues, but I feel like the Shark community has always been bigger than the challenges they face, and doing that great thing was really an example. Yeah,
it should be an inspiration for all of the high school kids on Guam to find ways to pay it forward as we try to get through all the struggles that we have. You've also introduced some legislation, an act relative to requiring sanitary permits to be renewed every year on the anniversary date of the issue, as opposed to some arbitrary public health date.
Yeah, this is, for me, it's really going to align things and give a little more breathing room. So as it stands now, without this bill, and if it doesn't become law, all of the permits for all of the schools, regardless of when they were inspected, expire on June 30th. So, for example, if you have a school like Tumuling Elementary that was inspected in December or November and passed, their permit is still going to expire on June 30th. And so what my bill does is it makes the lifetime of these permits a year long, and their renewal dates on the anniversary of the issuance date. So, a school like Tumuning, if they got inspected and got their permit on, November 14th, then that permit would expire on November 14th, because if I don't get this law through, what's going to happen is on June 30th, when all the permits expire, we're going to be in that position where we're waiting for public health, and, they've got their challenges as well to go out and inspect all the schools, because these public health standards must be complied with at the start of the next school year. As you know,
I recall the legislation,
Yeah, right. And so that's something I'm hoping that, we can avoid with the passage of this law. But I'm also just hearing from some of the board members that there's only one inspector that's been assigned to inspect. And I think right now, I want to say they're inspecting, let me check my notes. I think they're inspecting Estumbo. But the point is, they've got one person inspecting this school, and it's been This person has been inspecting the school. Hold on a sec, right? I'll make sure I get this right.
Yeah, no problem. It's kind of laughable when we think about all of the inspections that need to be done by the Department of Public Health and Social Services and how few people they have to get that job done. And I'm,
So Stumble Elementary has been being inspected since December 18th and still not completed. And here we are in the first week of January. So these are some of the obvious challenges. But, you know, Matt,
well, didn't DOE just take a victory lap here saying, well, we get 93% pass rate? And I'm going, that's because you totally gamed the system. And you know, you guys are calling the ball on when you're ready to have these schools inspected as opposed to, you know, drop dead inspections like public health should be doing at schools and restaurants and bars, et cetera.
Yeah, I know. You know, first I want to commend all the DOE staff because they never got that help, that much needed help from ADLOOP. So they've been doing all of the heavy lifting, right? Especially the facilities and maintenance people. With that being said, you want DOE to have a 90% pass rate because, like you said, there's no surprise inspection. I mean, they're in constant communication with public health.
Yeah.
Public health doesn't show up at the school unless DOE says, hey, we're ready.
Now,
And
come on,
sometimes
we're ready to go. Yeah,
right, they say, hey, we're ready, and they're actually not. So,
well, 93% pass rate, but with the lowest possible passing rates. Have they got anything over a 75?
No, they haven't.
Okay.
And there's always going to be room for improvement, man. But I think one of the positives, and I had an interview at KUM where I told Nestor this, I think the positive is we're talking about this and things are happening. Improvements, though not as quick as we want, are underway. And I think we just keep this conversation at the forefront. We never talked about public schools like this. We never had this community push to raise that standard. And for me, the government and DOE it's too slow for my taste, but I want to really highlight that, you know, we're talking about it this morning. And
that's a big deal.
We're talking about it, right? Yeah.
All right. One last thing before I let you go, because I got to take a look at traffic. Jerry Roberts is standing by for the extra point here in a second. But I know to the degree that you've got interests everywhere, especially in the Department of Education, I know you haven't taken your eyes off the ball at Guam Memorial Hospital. I'm not going to ask you your thoughts on the revenue cycle management audit that came out yesterday. There's too many moving parts. I had to read the damn thing twice yesterday. And I still have got to bring in somebody that knows a thing or two more about procurement than I do before I start in on the thing myself. But somebody had asked, Cousin Troy and I were talking the other day about we got a piece of legislation in your shop. Will it be part of the agenda as we move forward on finally saying for once and for all the new hospital, if there's to be a new hospital to be built, will be at EPAL Point?
Yeah, Ray, I know that it's our intention to deal with this, and it was, I think, in the first session of the year, but, you know, unfortunately that first session came pretty quick, so I know that we want to get this done. We want to deal with both the governor's bill and my bill as well. I'm doubling down on my bill, though. I've really thought about it. We kind of had a lull for the holidays, and, you know, I've been watching a lot of the governor's interviews and kind of listening to what she's saying and reading between the lines because that's all we can really do. There's no documentation, again, no real firm commitment on a lot of these like big picture ideas that she's talking about. So in some of her most recent interviews, she said she met with DOD and she's speaking with members of Congress. And, you know, for me, that really shows that she's very, very much at the seed stages of this medical complex. And, you know, take a look at GMH. It's fallen down around our ears. And I don't know if we the people of Guam can afford or our healthcare can afford for us to sit around and twiddle our thumbs for the, 7 to 10 years it's going to take to get this pie in the sky medical complex off the ground. In the meantime, Tamuning is move-in ready, and I say, hey, that's the quickest way to meet our healthcare needs, and I think it's also going to be the most financially feasible. And who knows if DOD comes back and says, hey, we do want to pay for this. I don't see it as impossible of us doing both. You know, if this is something the governor really wants to do. Again, I'm just not comfortable with what I think the time frame is, and I'm only getting that time frame from piecing together all of the public comments that the governor's made, because that's the best that we can do. You know, we haven't, like Eaglesfield, we haven't had that come to Jesus, let's lay out all the cards on the table, because, again, I don't think there are any cards at this stage for the governor and her team to lay out on the table.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Barnett, certainly appreciate the time. I know crazy busy you are. Congratulations to the students at GW. You got your gym back. 7:27 in the morning. I'll talk to you soon, bro. 888-8255, 888-TALK. And a word of warning now, if you are a student from any other school that's going to go and play volleyball at the George Washington gym, just FYI, that gym was not created for volleyball. It has one of the lowest ceilings as all of the gyms on Guam, and it's jungle rules in there, baby. And so the ball goes up in the air, and it's on your side, and it goes out of bounds. That's on you guys. Just an FYI. I know this from personal experience both ways. 7:27 in the morning. Jerry Roberts is in the studio with this morning's Extra Point. Sorry, wasn't able to get to you earlier, but
That's all right.
Chris talks as much as I do, apparently.
Boy, oh boy, does he.
It's Jerry Roberts and the Extra Point. Don't forget.
I love malfunction.
It's a very special Extra Point tomorrow with the Extra Point. Brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank.
Did you do Bitcoin yet?
No, we haven't. It went 46 yesterday down to 39.
It was 45 yesterday.
40.
Almost 45.
But it took a dump. But the last time I looked at it,
crashed.
How far?
42? 42.
Took a dump, Ray?
Yeah, it took a dump.
40.
I'm sorry, dive. Whoops.
It dropped. It's down to 42 today.
42 some, yeah.
Yeah.
The Bitcoin ETF that they thought was going to happen, that
right.
BlackRock was in back of and pushing, was rejected.
Oh.
And what surprised me was they rejected something that BlackRock did. BlackRock owns the government.
Yeah.
Shows its
Why
ugly
would
face.
they reject him? I can't.
I'm going to have to read about it. I was looking at something on Twitter. I want to say it went lower than 40 for a second, didn't it?
I'm sure
didn't
it
it
did,
be? But finally came back to around 42 or 42 some.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, well, that's not too far away from 44, 45, 46 where it's been.
I didn't read it. I don't know if it's a permanent rejection or if it's a technical thing or if they can, go after it again. But again, BlackRock with like $15 trillion in assets under management. Why on earth would they reject that guy?
I'm going to buy my X coin and I'm going to buy my LimeWire coin while they're still under $5 a piece. It's 7:30 in the morning. The Extra Point's brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. Jer.
Thank you. You're sitting in a staff meeting and you know the boss is going to call on you sooner or later. Your heartbeat picks up, your hands get sweaty, and you feel the butterflies forming in your stomach. Anxiety is overtaking you. Well, if this happens to you, I may have a solution. Coming next on the Extra Point.
Introducing the new United World Elite Business Credit Card from First Hawaiian Bank. Turn everyday business expenses into valuable United miles. Apply by December 31st, 2023, and if approved, you can earn 50,000 miles when you spend $5,000 within the first 3 months. Take your business to new heights with First Hawaiian Bank's new United World Elite Business Credit Card. Terms and conditions apply. To learn more, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United Business.
Half a day. This is Michelle from APL Guam. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam and on the U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
Meetings play a crucial role in the workplace, providing a platform for collaboration, idea sharing, and decision making. However, for many workers, the fear of being called upon to contribute can lead to major anxiety. The worry of not being adequately prepared can hinder our ability to engage and make meaningful contributions. By addressing these concerns and developing strategies to overcome meeting anxiety, we can gain confidence and actively participate. Here's a few ideas that may serve to help you to get rid of such anxiety. Number one, understand the problem for what it really is. Meeting anxiety stems from a fear of being seen as inadequate. We'll get something wrong or get criticized by the boss, and coworkers will judge us. The reality, we're not the only one in the room feeling that way. More than likely, several people there are worried just like you. So we'll give you the fix in just a moment. But remember this principle. What people think about me is none of my business. I've said it before, and it's worth going over it again. Do not spend time worrying about this. Do your work well and treat people even better. and none of this will ever be a factor. Now the fix for the worry. Ready? Number 2, be prepared. One of the most effective ways to eliminate meeting anxiety is by knowing your stuff. Get a copy of the meeting agenda with topics and objectives, and being well prepared. You will feel confident in your knowledge, reducing the anxiety. An old mentor in the training field once told me how he dealt with anxiety before a speech or a training class. He would say, "I know what I know, and I'm glad that you're here." I've used that for years. Number 3, be an active listener. Pay attention to what is being said in the meeting, not just on what you think might be your time to contribute. What if you're asked to comment on a point that's raised by somebody else and you're not ready? That's not going to be fun. By doing so, you can gain valuable insights, build on existing discussions, and contribute meaningfully to the conversation. Number 4, when it is your time to speak, relax your face, clear your throat, and maybe take a sip of water. Then speak with energy and clarity. As you hear your own voice come out with power and authority, it will reinforce your confidence. And number 5, reference work, ideas, and opinions of others. Recognize that meetings are meant for collective problem solving and knowledge sharing. Coworkers will appreciate your giving their work and ideas a positive stroke, and maybe they'll return the favor. Overcoming meeting anxiety is a journey that requires practice and self-belief. There was a time in my life when I was plagued by a nearly uncontrollable stutter. The thought of being called upon to say anything in front of a group was absolutely terrifying. If you suffer from this meeting anxiety, I've been there and I understand it. Use these ideas. See if it helps you. Hope it does. That's the Extra Point. Be responsible and make something good happen today for 93.3 FM, The Ray Gibson Show, and First Hawaiian Bank. I'm Jerry Roberts.
I was looking for a story that I saw on, unrelated to anything that we've been talking about, really, but a story that I was looking at on Instagram a little bit earlier about this like super golf guy that turned down $100 million worth of an endorsement from Nike, and instead went with a small outfit called Malban Golf out of the Philippines. And has decided to do it that way. Turn down $100,000 to work with somebody else. And I just dig that story because it's regional. Make all my Filipino golf buddies very, very happy, and give me something else to shop for when I get to Manila. What's they show me? Great logos, and they've got outfits that I'm looking at going, yeah, that actually looks better than any of the Nike stuff that I've been seeing these days. And theirs, I can tell, probably not put together by slave labor in China, right? We'll talk about that and more. I'll share that with the listeners when I get a chance. That's Jerry Roberts in the Extra Point, again brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. And time to jump into news and headlines. All kinds of great new things happening at Burger King in 2024. Whopper Wednesday was yesterday, and they've got the new Shroom and Swiss Classic and Bacon Melts are available at Burger King as well. News here also brought to you by Hoffaday Realty. That's Saran, Libby, Jody, and Pika's Best, Auntie Lolita. Their team of pros waiting to help you and your real estate needs out. 588-4232. Now with the news, here's Donna D. Donna, what happened?
Over 100 grams of meth intercepted in the mail. The case unsealed in district court yesterday. Drugs discovered in an acai bowl mix package totaling 122 grams shipped from Corona, California to Dedido. Feds replaced it with fake drugs and a tracker for investigation. No charges have been filed yet in connection with the case. And Senator Frank Blas Jr. expressing disappointment over the non-payment of $2 million in merit bonuses owed to GovGuam employees and retirees by December 31st, 2023, as mandated by law. DOA Director Ed Byrne confirmed $7 million of the $9 million owed has been paid, citing budget insufficiency. Blas criticizes the administration for a lack of transparency on payment details, accusing them of neglecting their obligation. And UOG moves to dismiss Yi Kyung Kim's discrimination lawsuit, claiming it lacks valid claims. Kim claims discrimination in hiring practices and possible retaliation for prior EEOC complaints against UOG. The AG's office argues timely filing and insufficient evidence of discrimination. They highlight jurisdictional issues, stating defendants not named in the EEOC charge lack proper grounds for the lawsuit. And those are your local headlines. Back to Ray.
I've been also looking for something. The people on Facebook Live are suggesting that there are are issues on traffic getting on to Tiedzen on the way to the airport. And Stephen Stettenben says traffic is not being allowed to pass, seek alternate routes, and drive safely. But I'm looking at the traffic gizmo, and I'm not seeing anything in and around that kind of lineup as you get there. There's the usual traffic over at that idiotic intersection, coming out of Tiedzen, but I don't see anything that is slowing anybody down getting through. When I made it through there this morning about 4:30, there were no issues there. Obviously, I made it to work. Don't know what the deal is now. If you got something, say something. Call in Real Joe at 888-8255.
Go through the departures.
You go,
or the arrivals.
Go all the way through. Just go
Find
around.
a shortcut, man.
Just go around. They don't care. They don't care. See if there's an attendant there to push the button for you instead of the machine. I don't know. 7:37 in the morning. We'll see what we can find out in the next couple of minutes. If you got something, like I said, 888-8255. Call up Real Joe or 797-8255 if you've got some images of why there might be some stop and go in that particular. You know what? We're just going to make that practice. We'll call it practice. Eventually, they are going to open the gates to Dundonki Village. Eventually, that's going to happen. And if you think that the traffic is bad around that airport intersection now, that North Gate will become maddening North Gate area as soon as they get that done, because there's no way that you can make a left turn off Marine Corps Drive if you're headed south to get into the Donkey Village. You're not going to be able to do that. Traffic will slow in the outside lane northbound of Marine Corps Drive as everybody's going to want to make that left-hand turn.
That's going to be a great place to panhandle.
In the right, already.
Yeah.
Already. You better start staking out your spot. You better start staking out your spot there. And okay, that's just the Marine Corps Drive side. Can you imagine how bad it's going to be on the Home Depot side? There's no turn lane there. There's no turn lane there, so cars will have to stop if they want to make that left-hand turn onto Dundonki Village. This is going to be a nightmare, and I have yet to talk to anybody at Public Health or Highway that says, "Oh no, don't worry, we got it. We got it." I haven't seen anything like that. I'm sure there'll be a last minute thing going on. Maybe we'll put in another intersection or something like that. Maybe 100 feet away from that one. 20 minutes away from 8 o'clock in the morning. 888-8255. But you already knew that. I'll be right back.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile team. Conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3. Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
Do you or a loved one suffer from severe joint, muscle, or bone pain? Do you currently suffer from autoimmune conditions such as gout, lupus, or rheumatoid arthritis? If so, Guam Regional Medical City is here to help. GRMC is pleased to welcome Dr. Tirakanok, Guam's only rheumatology provider. For more information, visit grmc.gu or contact GRMC's referral office at 671-633-GRMC. That's 671-633-4762.
Beyond the Box time is 7:40 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. All kinds of stuff. If you weren't able to get what you wanted for Christmas, Santa Claus gave it to somebody else. I don't know what the deal is. Go Christmas yourself. Oh, Three Kings yourself. We're not quite done. We still got a couple of more days left officially in the 2023 Christmas season. So if, like I said, you maybe got some people that you still got to shop for, doodads, gizmos, whatever it is that you can add to their digital lifestyle. Even if you don't, even you just buy them like the AirTags. Right? They're not terribly expensive, like $20, $25 a piece. They make great gifts for somebody and, get them started along with that AirTag life that they need. 741, get those at Beyond the Box, first floor of the Micronesia Mall. So traffic finally matured into something we're talking about this morning. Nothing major in the north end of town, but it's slowing down at Ipalpao, making your way into the Day-to-Do area. Intersection traffic for the most part right now. Those things were busy up around Ukadu. It looks like that traffic is moving a little bit closer to the intersection of 1 and 3 right now, a little bit slower than normal. Maybe a tiny bit of traffic over at Micronesia Mall intersection, southbound southbound Route 16 to 810 and 16. A little bit busy there, and then I've got pockets of traffic on the Happy Mart side, meeting up with traffic on the Wendy's side, and everybody's trying to get into that way to get into Tiedzen from that side of the island. Once you get south of that, you should be okay. Not a whole lot of traffic over at the McMobile intersection. A little bit of dog and out traffic by the Magagaga Highway entrance, and the usual slowdown over in front of Venue, which I've told you how to fix. Guys over at I've told you how to fix this. You've got the intersection by the old Rainbow Market, and when that light goes green for everybody, the light down at Marine Corps Drive goes green for everybody. And when you get down to the intersection, that little turn off over by in front of Pokey Fry and Venue, the traffic meets the traffic coming up, and that's why people get slowed. And I wouldn't take that way into town anyway, because you're just going to get slowed down when you hit the Bank of Guam intersection, because that's a Lunga intersection as well. You know, I just did a refresh on the screen, and did you see what's happening on the Route 8 side? Did you see how busy it is on Route 8 headed towards the intersection of 8, 10, and 16? Route 4 is not much better, slowing down in some of the usual spots, and you'll see slower traffic than normal as you get closer to the downtown Hagåtña area. Marine Corps Drive past that into Big Navy should be looking pretty good right now. It's 7:43. Be right back.
What's that, pizza?
It's KFC's $25 fill-up box.
Does this mean pizza night is now chicken night?
Oh, yes, it's chicken night. Kentucky Fried Chicken night. Oh, yes, it's chicken night. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night.
Make it a chicken night with KFC's $25 fill-up box. Get 12 nuggets, 4 biscuits, 4 pieces of chicken, a large serving of fries, and 4 sauces of your choice. Order online at kfcguam.com or WhatsApp 300-3278. That's finger-licking good.
Listen up. This is the message that could change your life forever. Registration for the spring 2024 semester at the Guam Community College is now in full swing.
Whether you're a returning student or a newcomer eager to begin a new academic adventure, Guam Community College has something amazing in store for you.
Now getting registered is easier than ever. You can now secure your spot online at guamcc.edu/apply.
You can also register in person at the administration building anytime between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday.
Don't miss out on this opportunity to build your brighter tomorrow.
Guam Community College, the key to unlocking your potential.
7:44 in the morning, Ray Gibson Show. Portions brought to you by Kim and Ron over at Security Title. Is this the year that you've decided, as Real Joe says, it's not just show up. You've got to put the stuff out there in the universe. You got to actually make things happen. Start talking to the real estate guys. Take a look at the MLS. Come up with something that you think is going to be a great start for you. Maybe an investment property out there. But before you do anything else, after that, you make sure you talk to Kim and Ron over at Security Title.
Rediscover Talk Radio here. Your FM News Talk Superstation. This is The Point.
Oh, my. It's so busy this hour. Crazy stuff. Jerry Roberts, Extra Point, news, a lot of traffic, information to pass along to you right now. And then all of the other stuff. If you are a vapor and you did not get your new supply of vape, you might not be able to do it today.
No.
Yeah, the vape store's close.
What? It's a holiday?
No, it's not a vape holiday.
Holiday.
It's a vape holiday. Celebrate. No, it's kind of a over the top. I don't want to say maybe over the top might not be the right way to describe it, but it is a reaction from the folks in the vape business community who are facing the potential of interference. So I'm going to call it. Interference, legislative interference in their business, in their industry. Is that Bistra?
No, but she's supposed to call.
All right,
any
we'll
minute
get
now.
from Bistra.
That's Jay.
Everyone should be annoyed, even if you're not in the business. Everyone should be annoyed that there is legislation now that would curtail somebody else's business. Is the government coming in saying, it's good to everybody, support local business, love local business, da-da-da-da-da. A local business comes out and they're selling vape. And they got a certain kind of vape that's got flavors because, I used to smoke cigarettes. I started with the mentholated cigarettes because it tastes better than the other ones. As I matured as a smoker, I was able to, get away finally from the flavored cigarettes. I was able to, for a while, even to get away from the filtered cigarettes. I wanted nothing but the fresh taste of tobacco in my mouth. Yeah, no cloves. Cloves. I'll punch you in the throat if I smell cloves, man. I hate that. That's nothing made me more aggro than cloves.
Yeah.
But here's the deal: is somebody's decided, for your own good. that we're going to take a look at your business operation and say that there are potential now for harm to somebody else in the community because this product actually exists, so we're going to ban it. And maybe you're outside of the vape community or the vape business, or maybe you've got feelings about people that vape. Maybe they annoy you too. But how would you feel if somebody came to you and said, yeah, I know better than you, and I know better what's better for you than anybody else. So I'm going to create some kind of legislation to ban something that you do at your work.
Wow.
Something that you do something that
That's
you sell
pretty rude, man.
at your place. What's that? We found drugs in a thing of acai? We're not going to let people sell acai anymore because there might be drugs in there.
It's a super fruit.
You know, if I'd had that acai at my house, they would have never found it. I would have never found it. It's not one of those things. 7:47 in the morning. You got the telephone number. Bistra's on too. All right, let me grab her. One of my favorite people, one of my best-looking callers, in fact, is Bistra Rusanova Mendiola, and the family is in the vape business, as a matter of fact, and probably are the most conscientious about the product that they sell and who they sell it to. It is an act of God and Congress before you're allowed to buy a vape over in their stores. You got to prove how old you are, and you've got to prove that if you're buying that vape, you're buying it for your own self and not to give to anybody else. Morning, Bistra.
Good morning, Ray. Today's the day, buddy.
Well,
Today's the day.
lots going on today, and I feel bad for Chris Duenas because because his public hearing on what is a pretty good piece of legislation may have to wait a while before everything gets cleared up and all the conversations are had at the legislature. I hope I prefaced the conversation and framed it adequately for you guys. I bristle at the idea, and especially after COVID, that anybody in the government thinks they know what's best for everybody else and can decide that we're going to ban this or that, or we're going to close this or that down. Excuse me, we are the people in the business. Just take our taxes and do something else here with that. Don't tell me how to run my business or what I can and can't sell.
Well, yeah. Plus, the vape industry, regardless what they say, it's not big tobacco. It's mom and pop. And particularly in all rural areas, I got to tell you, we're small business owners. We're just regular folks, members of the community, and we got no big bucks, to fight this kind of legislations and decisions later on. But I would be very curious to find out what's going to happen if similar measures are actually taken against, say, for example, flavored alcohol or any other flavored tobacco. Yeah, that's going to be a problem from any legislative effort, because that's where the big boys you're going to have to, play guns with.
Oh, that's never going to happen. That will never happen.
Exactly.
No.
So
I hear what you're saying.
targets.
You go down to any liquor store, any place where there's a decent supply, and you will find that the drinks that our grandparents used to drink, that they would mix stuff with, are now coming in pre-mixed, and some of them even coming in with containers that look like they are designed to be attractive to kids that have been drinking out of fruit punch pouches and that kind of thing for years.
Yeah, thank you. And quite frankly, I had an incident with my husband. He picked up something that looked like a peach juice. Turns out that was like a soju, and lucky enough that he tried
Did you
it
get lucky?
first.
No.
He was about to offer it to my kid, and then he realized when he took a sip, how dads normally, kind of try if it's poisonous first. So he did that. Lucky he did, because it was wait a minute, that doesn't taste
That's
right.
high octane.
Oh, Lord
I know which peach soju that you're talking about. It makes everybody very friendly. I'm told that there are parts of Japan, literally, where they have actually banned that because people will. It's too easy of a drink to drink, and before you've known it, you've had 3 of those, and now you want to fight police officers.
There you go. And it has very immediate consequences of usage, which, we know nowadays start riots at schools, stuff like that.
Yeah. So are we going to paint with the same brush legislatively the entire time?
No, because, this is a big, big, big industry. And if you decide to take on it, watch out. It's not going to be easy.
As
I said, we're easy targets to pick on. But nevertheless, our community today is showing a solidarity against that kind of nanny state decisions, because any product that's reserved for adults, it's reserved for adults. whatever happens to a delinquent minor that decided to, imitate adult behavior and just try it or just, seem cool to their peers, that's pretty much on the parenting at home, because I got to tell you, I got a teenager that knows exactly what's going to happen to him if he touches any one of my vapes. And we have, a lot of samples that are basically at home. But this kid is so disciplined, and he knows already that a lot of privileges will be taken away forever, if something turns out missing.
As it should be. In my mind, I agree with you 1,000%. It comes down to parenting and making sure that it's 10 o'clock at night. Do you know where your kids are? Do you know what your kids have in their backpack? Do you know what websites that they're going to? And it's tough to have to do all of that kind of surveillance, but that's what parents have to do in 2024. There's a lot of attractive nuisances out there for the kids in a lot of different ways and forms. And if you're going to be a parent, that's part of your responsibility to make sure that your kids have limited access to all of those kinds of things, alcohol and drugs, and, if as you choose, vape. Now, there might be some parents that don't actually see what the big deal is, what the problem is with vape, and don't have a problem sharing it with their kids, especially if it keeps them away from cigarettes.
Yeah, just last week we had to ban another parent that grabbed product from our store, and right in front of the big window that we can see from the inside, she handed it over to the kids, and one of our staff immediately took a photo and said, "This is the customer. That's the car license registration. That's the name. That's the phone number." Banned. Everybody knows. We disseminate that immediately, even within the industry. So, I mean, you try to buy, you're found out, you're banned, and good luck, getting your vapes from any legitimate vape shop. Yeah. Now, if you go to the gas station, they may not have that system in place, because it's evident that majority of the violations occurred in the gas stations, one restaurant last year, and grocery stores. So, I mean, we need to think really seriously how to enforce that within the tobacco licensees in general. But don't just pick on one industry, which is a standalone brick and mortar industry, and say you are at fault, because the data is not there to support that. Unfortunately, the people that are the prohibitionists, and that does not just include Mr. Fisher. There's a whole bunch of other bleeding heart advocates out there. They'll tell you it's your fault, and the medical this, the medical that. And when you actually really dive into what the numbers and statistics say, it's a completely different picture. I hope I have the time today to present that, because the thousands of pages I cannot summarize in 10 minutes. It's a vast subject, particularly by data and statistics, which unfortunately are over and over and over again presented to the public in a skewed form, and quite frankly, sometimes quite misinforming the public. Like, Guam youth is the highest of usage. No, it's not. Palau was in 2022, but who cares? If a reputable senator comes on TV, you gotta believe it, because that's someone that you elected last year. So believe that person. Don't believe me. The person that's being crucified out there.
He actually sells the stuff in the store. 7:55. If you don't mind, I want to see where the conversation might go. I have a Jay that wanted to get in on the conversation about vape as well. Jay, you're on, and you're on with somebody I consider an expert in the industry, and obviously he's got a dog in the hunt. And that's Bistro Rusanova Mendiola. Welcome to the program, Jay.
Hey, good morning, Ray. How you doing?
I'm okay.
Good morning, Bistro.
It's been a while.
Good morning.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm a citizen. I'm not a vapor. I'm not a smoker. I do drink, though, occasionally. Hey. But as a citizen, anytime you're trying to ban something that's legal, and I'm a proponent for our freedoms. I'm an adult. I'm 21 and over, and if I want to buy alcohol or vape, I should be allowed to buy any flavor I want, because I'm an adult and I can make my choice. And by the same token, if we want to ban flavored vape, then why don't we ban flavored sodas, flavored chips, flavored alcohol? Because they're all equally bad, right? Mm-hmm. But the point here is that we are trying to keep it out of the hands of the children. Now, keeping it out of the hands of the children, we have laws. You got to be 21 and over to buy flavored alcohol or any alcohol or cigarettes or vape. You have to be 21 and over. So don't penalize the adults in the disguise of trying to keep it away from children. It's all a disguise.
It is a disguise,
See what I'm
but
saying?
the reasoning is much more nefarious than that, and that's another rabbit hole that can go on and on. Because, as I said, the industry by itself was created by people that were very much against the tobacco industry by itself, and it's a controlled demolition that started a couple of years back. So that's part of the reason. And you're absolutely correct, and I support you on your feeling about choices here 100%, because we just legalized a substance that was on Schedule 1. I mean, are we going backwards or are we going forwards? You know, in the things that we're trying to provide more freedom of choice to the adult population, how they can medicate themselves, basically, because nicotine is probably one of the most misunderstood stimulant on the planet, and it's been historically linked to the deadly tobacco cigarettes. But we're in 2023. There is a cleaner technology that actually delivers a less harmful emission to enjoy that stimulant. And nicotine by itself, no matter what they tell you, including doctors, does not cause cancer. Does not cause cancer. So what causes cancer is different things that come out of any vapor.
What's all the stuff that big tobacco put in there to addict us, to make it that much more addictive than it originally was?
Yeah, but the FDA actually has this thing called continuum of risk, where the nicotine gum is the lowest, then follows the electronic nicotine delivery device, then is the heat not burn like the IQOS is, which we don't have here, and then is the cigarette. So it progresses. Now, if you have something that is less harmful and it's an alternative nicotine product, just like the nicotine gum was invented in, I believe, the 1970s or 80s, the inventor basically of that product says that people smoke for the nicotine but die from the tar. And this is the exact same thing that happened when the ends were invented, for the exact same reason. So if you have something that's less harmful, absolutely, you as an adult, you need to be presented with the choice.
And there's so many different avenues in the conversation. Unfortunately, this is not the public hearing. The public hearing will be about 1:30 this afternoon over at the legislature. I expect both of you to be there. Get in front and don't let him cross-examine you as he did with Dr. Shea a while ago. He's gonna ask about your taxes and how much you owe and what the nature of your business and things like that. Don't be ashamed. Anyway, 7:59, guys. I'll talk to you pretty soon. Bistra and Jay, appreciate the time this morning. 888-8255, 888-TALK. A lot of moving parts in the debate here, and I think we heard some of them there. No doubt you're going to hear plenty more like that. If you did not get your vape shot yesterday, probably not going to be able to do it today. The actual for-real vape stores are closed, and they will all be there today at the legislature. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. KUSG got you 93.3 is the point. 3 times peak is best.
On the border. I'm John Saucier, Fox News. House Speaker Mike Johnson is at our southern border, leading a group of Republican lawmakers who are critical of the border policies of President Biden. Fox's Bill Malugin also there in Eagle Pass, Texas.
That delegation of Republicans arrived, and a remarkable moment is playing out. House Speaker Mike Johnson tweeted yesterday when it looked like Eagle Pass was having no activity. He said in part, quote, "The Biden administration decided to divert the flood of illegal immigrants to another location in order to keep them out of the camera shots during the House GOP's visit to Eagle Pass. Don't be fooled. They are still being released into our country. Under President Biden, our southern border is a disaster." And the numbers just jaw-dropping. CBP sources telling Fox in the month of December alone, there were more than 302,000 migrant encounters at our southern border. That is the highest single month ever recorded in U.S. history.
Almost 100 people have died, more injured after explosions at an event in Iran honoring a killed Iranian general. Fox's Greg Palcott has more.
A double bomb blast at a large gathering in Iran today killed over 100 and injured more than 200. It happened near the grave of former Iranian General Qasem Soleimani, who was killed in a U.S. drone strike 4 years ago today. The Quds Force leader was responsible for organizing Iran-backed groups, including Hezbollah and Hamas. His militias have been blamed then as now for attacks on U.S. forces and bases. No one has yet claimed responsibility for today's attack, but Iran has branded it terror and vowed a strong and decisive response. It comes a day after a strike killing a Hamas leader in Beirut, reportedly the work of Israel. Experts do not think Israel was behind today's attack. In London, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
Russia and Ukraine exchanging hundreds of prisoners of war today. A deal was sponsored by the United Arab Emirates. Ukrainian authorities say 230 Ukrainian prisoners of war returned home. Russia's defense ministry says 248 Russian servicemen have been freed from Ukrainian activity. America's listening to Fox News.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545, Upper Tumon 671-647-5626, or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
What's that, pizza?
It's KFC's $25 fill-up box.
Does this mean pizza night is now chicken night?
Oh, yes, it's chicken night. Kentucky Fried Chicken night. Oh, yes, it's chicken night. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night.
Make it a chicken night with KFC's $25 fill-up box. Get 12 nuggets, 4 biscuits, 4 pieces of chicken, a large serving of fries, and 4 sauces of your choice. Order online at KFCGuam.com or WhatsApp 300-3278. That's finger-licking good.
2024 independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announcing today he's gathered enough signatures to appear on the ballot in Utah come November.
It's the first of our 50 states in the District of Columbia that we are going to register and get on the ballot.
The state requires 1,000 signatures to qualify. Now Kennedy Jr. can officially file the run before a deadline of March 5th in the state. He says the states of Maine, New Hampshire, and North Dakota are refusing to send ballot petitions to the campaign. Former President Donald Trump has officially filed a challenge to reverse the decision to ban him off the ballot in the state of Maine. An appeal against a similar decision in Colorado could soon be heard by the Supreme Court. Fox's Rich Edson has more.
In their filing to overturn that decision from Maine's Democratic Secretary of State, Trump's attorneys write, quote, President Trump is aggrieved by that final order because the secretary was a biased decision maker who should have recused herself and made multiple errors of law and acted in an arbitrary and capricious manner. Maine's Secretary of State ruled the former president is ineligible for the primary ballot there because she says he engaged in an insurrection and violated the 14th Amendment. Using similar reasoning, there are lawsuits in nearly a dozen other states to strike Trump from the ballot. Trump still leads his Republican challengers by a significant margin.
And a new year, a new record for the national debt as Congress is on the brink of another government shutdown.
The U.S. national debt crossed the $34 trillion threshold just before the new year, about 3 months after hitting $33 trillion. The new figure is sure to play into ongoing spending debates in Congress over additional military aid to Ukraine and Israel and a government funding deadline to prevent a partial shutdown on the 19th of this month and then another deadline on February 2nd. Republicans and Democrats agreed to a debt limit increase in June.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern reporting from Washington. In New York, I'm John Saucier, and this is Fox News.
JV International Safety Equipment has it all for you. Fall protection, rain gear, traffic signs, speed bumps, custom signs and banners, PPEs, fire extinguishers, plus more. Check them out on Facebook at JV International Safety Equipment Company or visit their website, www.jvisec.com. JV International Safety Equipment, Guam's leader in occupational and environmental safety equipment. Call 688-9524. JV International Safety Equipment, located in Harmon Industrial Park.
Yikes! Are those expensive credit card bills arriving? Well, we can help. Bank Pacific has launched our New Year's Resolution Solution personal loan with annual percentage rates as low as 7.49%. Money to pay off your credit cards or for whatever you want, starting at 7.49% APR. Apply in person or online at bankpacific.com and come join us. We're still celebrating. Equal credit opportunity lender. Conditions apply. Happy New Year.
Boss, I got run over by a forklift.
Boss, I crashed a company truck.
What do we do? Our warehouse and inventory are gone.
Hi, this is Dave Silva from AB Risk Solutions, and it's time for Risk 101. Everything you just heard are examples of risk your businesses can face. Our job is to ask the hard what-if questions and teach you how to reduce your exposures and help you recover if things go sideways. We've got decades of experience in Micronesia working with businesses big and small. Call AB Risk Solutions today at 777-2668 for a free inspection and quote.
AB Risk Solutions, formerly known as Aon.
Health Today, it's 8:06. I'm Donna De Jesus with a look at your local news on The Point. 2 teens face riot charges after a school brawl. Sapporo Timothy pleaded not guilty. Mikeson Lipue faces charges next week. The incident involving 15 to 20 students erupted over a vape theft. Court documents claim Timothy and Lipue continued violence despite warnings from school staff. Both face accusations of punching students and bystanders during the altercation. They're scheduled for court appearances next week to address the charges. Meanwhile, a Guam police officer is under investigation following an incident where he discarded suspected drugs found during duty. Police Chief Stephen Ignacio shared that the officer's actions are being reviewed internally. The officer responded to a report at Tumon Sands Plaza where a suspicious item was found but threw it away instead of securing it as evidence. Ignacio says tests revealed the discarded item wasn't meth as suspected, raising procedural concerns in handling evidence. This isn't the first time this officer faced scrutiny. Past incidents, including a failure to conduct a field sobriety test during a drunk driving incident in 2021, were also investigated. Ignacio confirmed the officer remains on duty. More news after this.
Stay cool all year round by checking out Johnstone Supply for your HVAC and refrigeration needs. Located at 170 Guerrero Drive on Picanel Road in Tamuning, call Johnstone Supply today at 671-649-0581. That's 671-649-0581. Open 8 a.m. to noon and 1 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Open Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and closed on Sundays. Stay cool with Johnstone Supply.
The Superior Court directed the OPA to reconsider JMI Edison's challenge against Menzies Aviation over a baggage handling contract. Judge Elise Iriarte reversed Public Auditor B.J. Cruz's dismissal, citing JMI's lack of due process. The case involves accusations of fraud in awarding the contract. JMI contested Menzies' eligibility, supported by a document produced by Buddy Orsini, leading to fraud accusations and dismissal. The court found JMI wasn't afforded fair opportunity and sent the case back to the OPA for reconsideration. JMI welcomed this decision as it aligns with the OPA's recent determination against Menzies, ordering the airport to terminate its contract, despite the airport emphasizing the risks of halting the baggage system. And Senator Dwayne St. Nicholas pushed for a consumer-grade fireworks bill to ensure safe and legal celebrations. Despite the law's passing, implementation is pending. Regulations from the Guam Fire Department. 8 individuals, including children, were injured by improvised fireworks on New Year's Eve in Jigo, prompting concerns. St. Nicholas emphasized the need for proper regulation, contrasting consumer-grade fireworks with unregulated ones. His Republican colleague, Senator Tello Taisegui, who opposed the law, pointed to the recent injuries, urging a review of Senator's commitment to Guam's safety. St. Nicholas and his team await the Guam Fire Department's guidelines to incorporate them into the law, stressing existing safety measures like adult supervision for children using consumer-grade fireworks. And those were your top stories. Now back to Ray with weather.
It's not my fault. I didn't. I just passed the bill. You still got to come up with regulations. I know the bill didn't have anything to do with people making their own fireworks, right? I'm just trying. Was somebody trying to blame Kane Dwayne on that? I'm like, we had we passed the fireworks. Personal fireworks bill. We passed it over at the legislature, and a bunch of people got in trouble because they had created their own fireworks. And that's supposed to be Dwayne's fault, right?
Of course it is.
Just saying. Okay, 10 after 8 o'clock in the morning. Where's the weather? Oh, I found it. Got it. Today's Thursday, by the way. Just FYI, tomorrow is Friday. We've got mostly sunny skies today and highs near 87 incredible degrees. East-southeast winds 6 to 14 miles an hour. Partly cloudy and overnight low should be 77 degrees. East-southeast winds 5 to 8 miles an hour. Going to be a nice night once the sun goes down. That's going to be at 6:06. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with highs near 87. Saturday, mostly sunny. Again, highs near 87 degrees. With a heat index, it'll feel like 90. Is it me or did it feel hotter yesterday than normal? I had that sensation. I sat down next to my desk, and I could feel the window, which is so weird. That doesn't normally happen. Or maybe I'm just oversensitive because of amoxicillin and my boil, which you haven't asked to see today. Yeah, okay. You know what? Anyway, so with the heat index today, like I said, 90 degrees, about a 20% chance of rain. It's 8:11. Oh, my God, we've made it to the halfway point of the program. I'll be right back.
Calling all business owners. This holiday season, treat your business to an upgrade with Docomo Pacific's festive business mobile plans. Whether you're decking the halls with a new phone or bringing your own device, unwrap savings of $20 a month. Delight in unlimited talk and text locally and to the U.S., plus enjoy the gift of data roaming to the U.S., Japan, Korea, and the Philippines. Visit business.docomopacific.com today for more details. Some conditions apply.
Half a day. Alex Demapon here from Security Title. Title reports, escrow forms, signatures, statements, and title insurance. When it comes to buying, selling, or refinancing your property, we do it all for you. At Security Title, we enjoy watching your dreams come true and being the ones to make sure it happens just as you planned. Call the professionals at Security Title. We are here to help.
Greg Gibson Show at 8:12, brought to you by APL American President Lines. They're delivering the future.
The Coconut Wireless is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Oh, boring. Boring. I used to do this a lot just for fun, but you go to Craigslist and check out the misconnections. And
Did you say Craigslist?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's still around?
Well, apparently not. It's not. The big deal is it was before. Maybe that's been taken over by something else. But there's always been a place for misconnections, and it was always fun for radio people to go look at and see if anybody was looking for them. But to see if hey, are you the one that was wearing those white short shorts over at Infusion the other day? Yeah,
Yes, that was me, Ray.
I was wearing the Carabao hoodie, right? Did I thought we had a moment there? Those kinds. But apparently, the people aren't doing that anymore. You have those, apparently on Guam, you may have a moment with somebody. Your eyes may lock for just that second. And in that instant, maybe a future passes before your eyes where you meet, you fall in love, you court, you have babies and children, you grow old and die. Okay, maybe it's just a tourist
God,
thing.
that's so dark, Ray.
I know, but then you lock eyes with somebody else and you go through the same thing.
You could lock eyes with AI, bro.
813, it's true, it's a fact. 888-8255, 888-TALK. I spent just a little bit of time this morning going over the some of the topics that were brought up in the public auditor's audit on revenue cycle management at the Islands Hospital. Now, when they say Islands Hospital, obviously they're talking about Guam Memorial Hospital. It is 50 pages, and I will tell you right now, I read all 50 pages twice yesterday because I wanted to become more conversant in this, but there's a little bit of you need to have a little bit of a primer going into all of this because it is not the easiest of the audits from BJ to be able to navigate. You got to know a thing or two about procurement and the way procurement is done. Or misdone here on Guam. But as soon as I'm reading this, I'm going, oh, my God. This is the stuff that Kenley and Guerrero used to call in and bitch about 2 years ago on the radio station. And so I was delighted to see that he was on the list here this morning. And I'm glad to get the other Governor Leon Guerrero on the line here. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning from snowy Reno, Nevada.
How about that? How much longer are you going to... Well, never mind. I'm happy to hear that you were out enjoying life in another part of these grand United States of America. Hope you haven't lost your shirt in the casinos in Reno, Nevada, and hope you find your way home soon.
So do I. But, when I looked at the newspaper this morning and saw the summary on BJ's audit, it reminded me of the complaint I filed with the FBI, because when we look at the contracts and we look at the whole process, it just stinks. And if the FBI would do a RICO investigation on GMH, they'd probably uncover, maybe $100 million worth of pervasive fraud.
They might still be doing that. They might still be doing it in part of the actual report itself. I think the auditor's office makes a comment about their review of the revenue cycle management was initially brought on by a regular citizen. I don't know whether that was you, but certainly there are other eyes that are looking at this thing right now with an eye towards figuring out what exactly happened. How is it possible that these guys come in with an unsolicited offer to Guam Memorial Hospital that turned into a multi-million-dollar contract and dollars now that they were able to bill GMH for and commissions that they are taking from revenue that GMH would have gotten anyway.
Yeah, but that goes back to the corruption aspect of things because, I mean, if we put this in simplest terms, what GMH did is they hired an transmission mechanic to come in and perform brain surgery, unlicensed, unskilled, no track record, no licensing, no training, no certifications, none of the required insurance, none of the required business licenses, and gave them a multi-million-dollar contract that said, hey, take 12% of our gross revenue that walks in every month.
It also has a look like they were trying to get out from under scrutiny by the Attorney General's office.
Well, I went to Camacho, and you know how that went. Since his name was on the contract, the governor's name was on the contract.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time I've ever seen the governor sign an autonomous agency contract. I've looked at a lot of contracts from the airport, from the port, GWA, DOE, GPA, and not once have I seen the governor's signature on any contract except for that one, which raised my concerns.
BJ suggested that it was unresponsive from the get-go.
Yeah. So that's why I'm glad to see that BJ dug into it. I'm hoping that the FBI is working quietly in the background, like they've been on a number of other major cases here on Guam, because we're talking about millions of federal dollars that are involved in this: Medicare funding, Medicaid funding, AARP funds. That's a lot. That's a lot of money.
Well, there's also apparently a lot of money that was not collected by this by GMH while they were under this contract. Which is another big deal. Arguably, you would think that would be one of the first things that they would go after. Is we've already got a bunch of people that are already paying us, so let those go in through this input, this revenue sluice, and we know that we've got issues with self-pay clients. We've got others that are not regular payers, and those are the ones that we need to get to. And that, in my mind, would be this is why we hired you. It's just virtually every paragraph is a show in and of itself. Including this one here, factors indicative of preferential treatment. That's the one that has a number of tongues wagging in this town. Wait a second, preferential treatment? Who was it? This Med Health company that might have had a little bit more influence in the operations of the government of Guam and Guam Memorial Hospital, so much so that they would receive this quote preferential treatment.
Well, that's the same people that got a non-bid contract for public health offices, which is another thing that I hope that gets investigated at some point in time, because we're spending, I don't know, somewhere around $15-20 million a year because we had a exhaust fan fire and we got a non-bid contract, and now we're paying millions of dollars a year for a facility to duplicate the space of a government-owned facility.
Well, and there's going to be an axe fight now over at the legislature. I don't know if that you have heard between the speaker and the vice speaker. There are two competitive measures that would provide either a return for the Department of Public Health back to that facility, or to give it to somebody else, like nurses and the nurse school over at GCC and UOG. It'll be interesting to see how all of that finally gets sorted through. Ken LG, always a delight talking with you. We'll get you back in town before too much longer. I'd suggest that you take another pass at all 50 pages of that audit, and maybe give me another ring tomorrow with some of your interesting findings and comments.
I would look forward to doing that.
All right. Take care of yourself. I'll see you sometime pretty soon. 888-8255-888-TALK. 20 after 8 o'clock in the morning. One of the other guys that I talk to generally has a thing or two or knows a thing or two about what's going on over at Guam Memorial Hospital is Senator Frank Blas Jr. He joins me in the program now. Hafadero, busy day at the legislature, no?
Oh, it's been busy. It's been a busy year, and it just started.
Exactly. A couple of public hearings. I'm sure you'll be there to back up your buddy Chris Duenas with his measure that hopefully would be able to provide some relief to people that own properties, would like to develop in the family those properties, but can't do so because of what apparently looks like either outdated or desperately needing updating in some of the statute that we've got with regards to what happens with wastewater in the house.
Oh, most definitely. I tell you what, the legislation provides for technology that has advanced a whole lot over the last few years to be able to deal with, a lot of the concerns that people, that people have with regards to wastewater, and how we're going to we should be able to basically filter it out and then put it back in. It's going to go somewhere eventually, and in this case, in a matter of not being able to hook up to a sewer line, and you have to dispose of it, literally on your yard and everything, just making sure that it doesn't have all the toxins and it doesn't have all the chemicals that people are concerned about seeping into the ground.
Yeah,
capturing that, and so that now you can use your property. Now you can build your home and build it safely. So it's great. It's a great piece of legislation.
Well, me personally, I kind of wish we all had access to that. I wish I had a choice. Where I live right now, I don't. I've got a sewer line, and that means that I got to pay for water coming in. And every time I flush the toilet or water blast the house or wash the dishes, I got to pay for it leaving as well. 8:22 in the morning. But I got a couple of things. Number one, I'll send you the video that Dr. Hao Nguyen sent me this morning. There is a fan in one of the labor and delivery rooms which has an air conditioner attached to it, but there's no electricity feeding the air conditioner.
I got that same video, along with conversations and text messages from various other doctors, that says, look, they say that they put these things in, but what they don't tell you is that they didn't turn them on because they forgot to hook up the power supply. So that's kind of concerning, especially when you've got patients who need to be able to stay in the hospital and then have to resort to something like this. You begin to wonder, is this being able to say, okay, this is how we're going to get people to get home quicker, is because the place is uncomfortable and unsanitary?
Well, just open the window. Why don't we just open the window now? I mean, if we're just going to give up on fixing the actual air conditioning on the roof of the building, I was never a fan of them putting these split air conditioners on the inside. I got nothing against split air conditioners in your house or maybe your store or something like that, but this is the hospital, and we need to have some very, very good primary systems and very, very good backup systems so that when we do lose these massive chillers, it doesn't mean that everybody in the building needs to sweat or we've got to go to Home Depot and buy every fan they've got.
Yeah, and Ray, one of the other things, and you're absolutely right with regards to those systems, they're designed for specific areas. So you've got now an aircon that's in the room, but what about the hallway? And what about the areas leading up into the room? And then when you put them in the room and you don't hook them up, that's another thing. How did you put up an aircon, install an aircon, but not complete the installation of it? It's like, okay, who put this up, and what happened to this? Because most contracts,
right?
How many times have you and I been able to ask a company to come in and be able to install or replace a split unit aircon? And they put the aircon in, but they forget to put the Freon, or they don't hook up the power. What was the point for the installation?
Maybe we could have identified the power source first and then run the wires and run the conduit over the surface and then come up with some place where we've got that little plug that you pull in and you stick in and you pull out when you want the shunt and then that's where we're going to have the electricity to feed that apparently emergency and standby air conditioner and we don't have a good track record in the government of Guam dealing with split type air conditioners. And you know what it might have been. This is the way my Gov Guami mind is working. Is they needed to buy them and get them put on the walls as quickly as possible because there's a limited number of air conditioners on Guam because the Department of Education has been replacing air conditioners to in the tune of the hundreds since Mowar.
No, don't get me started with the Department of Education either as well. I don't know if you remember, there was a point in time where they bought washers and dryers for every school, but they forgot that none of the schools had the dryer hookups. Okay, and then along with the washers and dryers, they bought cases of detergent.
Yeah,
and so it's sad there because. First of all, we don't know where we could put the washer and the dryer because there's no hookups for either one of them. And then you have all this detergent, but somebody, made the purchase, and somebody got paid for a lot of this stuff. And that the individual who purchased the dryer said, "Look, you asked for a dryer. You didn't ask me on as far as the installation and what's necessary, but I gave it to you anyways." And
yeah, you need 220 volts coming out the wall for the dryer. You need at least 110 for the washing machine, and at the very least cold water tap.
Then I tell you what, and there's been a lot of purchases by the government of Guam. Right around when the pandemic started, we had the washers and dryers, we had the split air cons, we had the what I call the snail fans that they gave into every classroom. That all they did was just blow up all the dust and debris and mold and mildew that they had there. They had these air quality cleaners that if you looked at the pamphlets, it had warnings. There was a warning from California that it contained carcinogen. Particle, or it could cause cancer. I'm like, come on, guys, really?
And we could do this. We could do this all day. It clearly needs to be some oversight floating around, and we've got to find where the reasonably commonsensical adults are in the system, and put them in charge of some of the things that we need to do. Stop installing split air conditioners at Guam Memorial Hospital until they've got electricity. And while you are finding ways to get electricity to all of these split type air conditioners, tell us now, what is the update on replacing the big ones up on the roof that Luli and Guerrero should have given $20 million for? Have they got that money, and have they already made the purchase over at Carrier or whoever it is that's going to supply them with this massive air conditioning?
Well, I tell you, there's a lot to be said about the procurement, within the Guam government of Guam. Granted, okay, yeah, it's very complex with regards to how you're going to be able to procure something. I mean, I remember as the Homeland Security advisor, just to be able to get a box of pens, I'm like, really, I have to jump through these hoops. But it was necessary, and I saw why it was necessary. However, yes, you're right. There's got to be planning towards what you want to be able to purchase, especially when you're talking about, in this case, in the hospital, split air conditioning units. Not every room is going to be able to be fitted with that kind of a system. And if you're going to put the system in, is the infrastructure there so that it doesn't become a hookup, or do we not have to hire somebody to run a wire from the electrical room all the way up there, so that we can have the 220 power into that area?
Well, if you bought the 220s, in the very least, 110 to run some of these inverter-style split units. Like I said, I know how delicate they are because I have them at my house. They are not ready for industry, and they should not be put in that position. GMH should not be put in a position. They've already got maintenance issues, and now they have added a maintenance issue in every single room where they've attached one of these split air conditioners. We're not good at air conditioning in the government of Guam. Look at Sanchez.
And that's what I was going to get to is maintenance. Yeah, you're right. My house too. We have, I've got a couple of split units, and the maintenance that required on almost a weekly basis, checking the filters, making sure that the airflow is not clogged in the outside.
No, we got and make sure that it's draining properly. Otherwise, the things are going to be weeping in those rooms, probably on top of the patient.
Yeah, and then so when I saw that video, then I got my gift from Dr. Nguyen. First off, starts with a fan, and it goes up to a brand new aircon sitting on a wall that doesn't work. Unfortunately, when you hear the voice in the background, already it's coming from basically pediatric or the delivery area. And wow, you go give birth, and your baby comes into this world and has to go to the sweltering heat, right below a perfectly non-functioning brand new aircon.
Yeah, and there aren't. Here's the other problem: is you and I don't necessarily have this issue anymore. We've already had our kids, but I don't know that I would be comfortable as a husband sending my wife into that situation. And there are darn few alternatives to be able to go someplace and have a baby delivered. And enough of that conversation. Let me move to the real reason why I wanted to get you on here this morning, and that is to get your thoughts on the public auditor's comments and the audit that came out out on the revenue cycle management at the Islands Hospital. By the time I found you yesterday, both of us had gone through this at least once. You've got, having the experience of working in the government of Guam and being a part of the process, understand procurement better than I do. And Beach and his audit team put together what looks like a pretty decent report that shows numerous places where this procurement should have failed.
Right. I tell you what, one of the things that really caught me is, first off, we had a non-solicited, some non-solicited work that was performed by a group. And then they come in, they says, okay, yeah, well, we came in here and we did the work for free, and we saw all of these problems, and so, you got to be able to fix these problems. And then you went from that non-solicited work into now a proposal and then all of a sudden contract by the same individual. I'm like, okay, so the question is to, okay, these individuals purposely go in there and look and find some of these problems and then come up with a solution and say, I'm your savior, I'm already here, I'm already embedded, now you give me the contract. And just the process of how the contract was going, first they wanted to go through a sole source thing, and I'm like, oh, okay, wow.
Which is illegal. There's statute that says that you can't do that. Sole source procurement shall not be permissible in any procurement that has arisen from an unsolicited offer. So we go from that unsolicited offer, all of a sudden we've got a contract that is valued in the millions.
Yes, yeah, and then you go to basically two different iterations of the contract. Change out a couple of words, but still leave some of the main parts in it, and that basically was still a main cause for concern. And then you proceed with it, okay? And then as you're proceeding with it, there are still some of the very basic requirements to be able to start on a contract. One of them is a valid business license. And being able, because you looked at the license that was provided, it was for management and consulting, but what they were doing was outside of that realm. There could be an argument. Oh no, they consulted and this was some type of management. No, there was also the collections and other procedures, other stuff that were necessary that you put in your scope of work that don't necessarily will fit in basically what is already allowed for by the type of license that you got, okay? And then the infrastructure that was saying that, okay, I'm going to collect 12% of everything that is collected, not a collector. That was a part of the collection or not. And I'm like, wow, that's a sweet deal.
Right.
Okay.
As I said, so they're getting 12% on money that was coming in anyway, that was not already a target of collection issues with Guam Memorial Hospital. And in fact, one of the things that they found was there were other areas that did need that collection attention, but they never got it. And concerns from the OPA are that there might have been millions and millions of dollars, despite the fact that we were paying a consultant 12%. There were millions and millions of dollars that remained uncollected.
And you can recall the information that was released, back in the day when these contracts were in place, and they touted that, they were collecting more money, and this thing was moving forward. But then, as a result, if you look now at the OPA report, it says, while they collected more money, they could have collected even more money because there was more money that was owed.
Yes.
And so when you went from a collection ratio of about 54 to 58% down to less than 50, and you're paying now 12% on top of that you weren't paid before, that's even more money you lost in this thing. Okay, so it's not just $4.9 million that the question costs. How much more could we have collected based on what was already billed, but was never collected because nothing was done, but we still paid them for it.
Well, to the degree that they got paid, my understanding is that $30 million bailout that the legislature gave them a couple of months ago, last month. My understanding was that they were on the list of payables.
Yeah, yes, I remember seeing there on the list of tables that thing there. But the thing is, I'm not going to say that I knew that there was an investigation or they were looking into something like this. There was some concern that was brought up, and I knew that there had been some discussions. So I wasn't going to make that a part of the discussion during that process, for fear that it may throw off
the investigation
off track. Let it happen. Let it happen. The good thing I appreciate about it is that they showed it. They showed on, and what they still had to pay out. They showed this number, so there was no denying it. They can't come back and say, "Oh no, it's not $4.9 million." This is your report, not anybody else's. You showed it.
Yeah, it's quite a number of interesting documents that are included in the audit as well. There's, as I say, for every finding that they made over at the public auditors, there is an entire show that we can do here. What is very, very clear is that there needs to be some adult supervision over procurement over at Guam Memorial Hospital, and maybe we'll work backwards, starting with what was it? Stephen Blake says their solar air conditioners. They've got over. They don't need electricity. They're getting their electricity from the sun, Frank. That's the big deal. Hey, do me a favor. Reach out to our favorite corpsman a little bit later on. Mr. Weber's looking to talk to you about something.
You got it.
All right.
I will.
I'll see you. If you don't have his number, I got it. I'll see you pretty soon. 8:38 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. There it is. Frank Blas Jr. going to be at the legislature here all day long and getting ready for the big sessions that are coming up before too much longer. And some of the fireworks that I had hoped to see between the middle of December and New Year's. Maybe we will begin to see some of that as the legislature springs back into action. 888-8255-888-TALK is the telephone number. Mean Machine is working. Send yours in at 797-8255. Always a nice peekaboo from you when we get a chance. Donna D has got that last big look at news and headlines coming up next.
Half a day, this is Honey. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
Introducing the new United World Elite Business Credit Card from First Hawaiian Bank. Turn everyday business expenses into valuable United miles. Apply by December 31st, 2023, and if approved, you can earn 50,000 miles when you spend $5,000 within the first 3 months. Take your business to new heights with First Hawaiian Bank's new United World Elite Business Credit Card. Terms and conditions apply. To learn more, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United Business.
In 20 minutes, 9 o'clock in the morning. Almost all the way through the program. We are intending to make it all the way to 10 o'clock in the morning. And frankly, I'm surprised that Donna D is still here with us after having heard noises that her throat and her mouth and was making kind of wow. But she is. What a trooper. And I'm glad that you were able to make it through. Last look at news and headlines. You think you got it in you? Oh, yeah.
Inmate Joshua John Tatauta's civil rights complaint against DOC was dismissed due to missed deadlines. He accused DOC of risking his life by housing him with COVID-19 positive inmates. DOC spokesperson Major Anton Agin stated the decisions were medically guided. Tatauta remains in prison until 2026. No plans for a lawsuit refile are known. And the Panda Cares Foundation gave GMH a $76,000 grant for critical care equipment. They delivered 3 cribs and a GE giraffe incubator care station. This contribution helps GMH's neonatal and pediatric care. The partnership with Panda Cares is valued for the aid and commitment to improving pediatric care on Guam. And the UOG Center for Island Sustainability and Sea Grant has launched a STEM magazine for kids. It features local stories, activities, and resources to spark curiosity and scientific exploration beyond the classroom. The magazine includes informative content, games, and hands-on activities. To get a copy, call 735-5631 or visit the UOG Sea Grant office and a G3 Makerspace at Chamorro Village. And that was your last look at local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray.
Let me see if I sent myself the thing, the story I was telling you about on Instagram. I'm saying, as somebody who's got a tiny bit of Filipino blood in me, and never mind the fact that I've got just a little bit of blood in me, my appreciation for the language, the culture, the food, the nightlife, etc., and the creativity of the kuyas and kuyettes that we have from the Philippines. I'm absolutely delighted by this story. Guy named Jason Day is a golfer with like the PGA, etc. You know, it's like he's a known guy, even though I don't know him. I kind of appreciate him.
I thought that was a Pokeball.
I've got a great degree of appreciation for him simply because his hair looks like mine right now. Both of us need to go and visit somebody to get a haircut. But the other one here is that he has given up, walked away, if you will, from $100 million Nike deal, and said, "No, that's okay. You can keep your sweatshop clothes and your last year designs. I'm going to go with an outfit from the Philippines. Malbon Golf is the name of the group that he's going to be working with. After 7 years, he's now teamed up with the rising Filipino-owned brand Malbon Golf, founded in 2017, a brainchild of the culture and golf enthusiast Stephen and Filipino-American Erica Malbon, epitomizing that's right, the wife. The wife is, she's the Philam, yeah. Half caste like us. Ganda ka. Anyway, both collaborations, including notable partnerships with Adidas. For Day, the move signifies more than a sponsorship shift. It's a chance to redefine his on-course presence, showcasing Malbon Golf's distinctive apparel on the PGA Tour. A blend of classic styles with contemporary flair aligns with Day's quest for a fresh perspective. While details of the deal remain private, his departure from Nike marks a significant change, spotlighting the ascent of Filipino-owned Malbon Golf in the golfing realm. And now I'm hoping that he follows up on that with maybe another sponsorship with San Miguel. Wouldn't that be cool? San Miguel, you know, and just the T-shirts and stuff like that. And what's the name of the rum? Tandoy rum, which would be just go for all of the big Filipino brands. Right? Jollibee.
Yeah.
Just make the whole thing happen. That's what I'm saying.
$100 million, huh? Genius.
Right. 8:43 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. All right, time to take a look at celebrity birthdays. Are you ready, Donna D?
Yeah.
Not really. What did you put in your mouth?
Ricola.
A Ricola. That's fine. We know you're sick. You don't have to hide it. Diane Cannon, who used to be married to Cary Grant for a little bit, is 87 years old. My recollection was she was a stone cold fox at the time. If you read books, maybe you know the name of Harlan Coben, who is my age, born in 1962. The guy from News Radio and Kids in the Hall, Dave Foley, turns 61 years old. Janet from The Good Place, Darcy Carden, turns 44. Emma McKay from Sex Education turns 28. And Daphne Keene from Logan and His Dark Material is 19 years old.
Who are all these people?
No idea.
Yeah.
No idea. It's like looking at Facebook from the States. Who are these people? I don't know. But I did know Diane Cannon, and that's pretty much it. If you're looking for something to celebrate today, it's Spaghetti Day.
Yay. I love spaghetti.
Do we like our sweet spaghetti?
No.
No, you don't?
Yeah, it's Filipino spaghetti, right?
Yeah? You don't like?
I like both kinds. I like all kinds. I just like spaghetti.
It depends on whether I'm doing the sauce myself or whether I'm opening a bottle. Because I will, on my own. I will, we'll do my own sauce every once in a while, right?
Make my own sauce.
Yes, make my own sauce. It's areola sauce. But I will make my own sauce from time to time, and you will find that there's a certain bitterness that comes from the tomatoes, and you have to balance that with a little bit of sugar, which is why you'd put sugar in those kinds of saucy deals that you've got. There are just some people that put a lot of sugar in the whole thing. Just douse it with ketchup, why don't you? And do it that way. So happy Spaghetti Day. Where is a good place to go and get a bowl of spaghetti on Guam?
Sargosos.
Chef Boyardee might be the answer on that. It's Trivia Day. And, I put this, it was the theme for today's program is Trivia Day, but nobody is amazing me with their trivia. I was hoping that somebody would be able to come through and, just hit me with a line of trivia somewhere that would normally not be, something that you'd keep at the top of your head. But it's like having a $2 bill in your wallet. Does anybody have any cool trivia that they want to share? Right? Like like in the movie Casablanca, the guy never says, "Play it again, Sam." It's not a line from Casablanca. A lot of people think it is.
And in Sherlock, he never said that it's elementary, my dear Watson.
Exactly. So those kind of trivial things. Somebody has got some cool trivia in their head that you don't think about, but when you do hear it, you go, "Wow, that is really, really kind of cool." Glad that you have this piece of useless knowledge and taking up space.
Nobody shared.
I do.
It's obviously this program here. So you get 4 hours.
Did you know
of
people with the most birthdays live the longest, Ray?
Hey? No way.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Show me your source.
You're welcome.
Show me your source
You're
material.
welcome.
I want to see footnotes on that. It's World Braille Day, and it always surprises me. The drive-up ATMs have Braille keys.
You know what Mia used to call that when she was a kid? Blind dots.
Blind dots?
Yeah.
Drive-through, can I see your Braille menu, please?
We've got the driving by Braille here on Guam, or at least we used to with all of the
we need that.
The botched dots on the road. It's
Because I can't see sometimes.
Hypnotism Day. Oh, have you ever been to those hypnotist shows? They used to.
Have.
They would sell out.
They helped me quit not smoking.
There's a part of me that believes, because I want to believe in hypnotism and Santa Claus and all of these things that we knew from watching cartoons when we were kids. But then there's another part, because I remember once upon a time I tried to quit smoking with a hypnotist, failed. It lasted. From her place was at the old
car
Cliff Hotel, and
the Cliff Hotel, right?
Yeah, and then I went from there to a bar called the Boardroom on Route 8, and
you smoked
immediately.
My friend went to one of those hypnotist shows.
Yeah.
She was one of the volunteers.
Yeah.
She just pretended.
What?
Yeah. She just pretended.
The good hypnotist guys are supposed to be able to see through that and go, okay, I know that you're just playing, get out of here, and because they'll ruin the show for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those are my favorite shows is to watch people go up there that really want to be hypnotized, that can be hypnotized, and then we'll do all of those kinds of things. And I always like the last part of these shows where the hypnotist will leave them, with some something positive and encouraging. You're going to work out more. You're going to have positive feelings about life every day, for the next week or something like that, just so when they snap out of this thing, they've got a little bit of an extra gift for having to go through it. But the other thing is about hypnotism is I'm of two minds. Like I said, I want to believe, but I've also heard that there's a certain level of intelligence that if you are above it, you cannot be hypnotized. There's a level where you will not willingly go down into that alpha level easily and cannot be manipulated that way. At least that's what I've heard. Having said that, one last thing on the subject, I will, from time to time, there are these white noise programs that you can get your hands on, and a lot of them that you can find on YouTube. So you play these things before you go to sleep, and there are embedded suggestions in these subliminal kind of...
Sounds illegal.
Yeah. Exactly. But they help you relax. They help you focus before you go to sleep. And there's nothing wrong with that. Pop Music Chart Day is today, so I encourage you to do something ridiculous, like find the top 10 songs from the year that you graduated from high school. Top 10 songs maybe that you would still put in a playlist between you and your current love interest. When was the last time that you did something like that? The books are out there if you can find them, 8:50 in the morning, and that's all the time that we have for celebrity birthdays and special events today.
Okay, bye.
If I speak in a monotonous tone here, do you suppose I will be able to hypnotize our listeners into sending money to the radio station?
Some will.
Tick-tock, tick-tock. You want to send money to Ray Gibson and Real Joe and Donna D, or at least food. We'll see what happens. 10 away from the top of the hour. We'll be right back.
Listen up. This is the message that could change your life forever. Registration for the spring 2024 semester at the Guam Community College is now in full swing.
Whether you're a returning student or a newcomer eager to begin a new academic adventure, Guam Community College has something amazing in store for you.
Now getting registered is easier than ever. You can now secure your spot online at guamcc.edu/apply.
You can also register in person at the administration building anytime between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday.
Don't miss out on this opportunity to build your brighter tomorrow.
Guam Community College, the key to unlocking your potential.
Quality care, peace of mind. That is the FHP Imaging Center. Our specialized board-certified radiologist ensures patient-focused care with diagnostic medical imaging, including MRI, CT scan, digital mammogram, digital x-ray, and ultrasound. The FHP Imaging Center is open for most services Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 671-646-5825. Press 1 for an appointment. Now accepting of Guam. FHP Health Center. Our island, your clinic.
Learn about open enrollment at Guam Community College here on the Ray Gibson Show in just a little bit. In the meantime, just a few minutes left in this hour. It's hardly the time that we need to, bring up, dust up some kind of argument or conversation that's going to get everybody all hissy. So we'll go with a couple of thoughts that are in my head right now. One of them is I finally watched John Wick.
What? The first one?
Yeah.
Oh, finally.
Finally watched John Wick.
How do you feel about yourself now,
Oh, my
Ray?
God, I want a dog.
Yeah?
I want a dog.
You want a pencil, too?
Oh, yes. Man, oh, man, oh, man.
That's my jam, dude.
I thought it was a great movie.
Yeah.
There were parts of it where it kind of pushed the boundaries of plausibility with regards to, firearms in a nightclub and being able to do that little John Wick dance and, twirling over people and shooting them in exactly the right place to neutralize them. And then there were some people for him that dance did not work on right away, right? And I thought that was interesting. I thought it was. I liked the idea that they had taken a couple of actors from the shows and movies that I was already familiar with. I'm a big fan of Ian McShane from Deadwood, and he played. He played Blackbeard as well, but he played like the fairy godfather right, and in the thing is like everybody's favorite, but he could take business into his own hands when needed. I thought that was pretty cool, and the guy that played the son of the Russian mob guy was also in Game of Thrones. If you'll recall.
Yeah, you're right.
He was the guy that had his birdie cut off.
The short guy.
What?
He was the midget guy, right?
No, he wasn't the short. He wasn't Dinklage.
Okay.
He was another guy, and this is one of these guys that you kind of glad in the Game of Thrones when anyway. Because it was a Game of Thrones. A lot of people, HBO and those people got away with more crap on Game of Thrones. You tried any of that stuff in any other non-cable media or non-wokey media, it's like we can get away with all the depravity. I mean, like the first episode of Game of Thrones, you got the little guy that's thrown over the side of the building because he had witnessed the relatives having incestual relationships in a hidden, what should have been a hidden spot. And I'm going, wow. And then it just got more creepy afterwards, and you kind of plug yourself into the story arc of Game of Thrones, but just kind of bite your lip and hope nobody else walks in the room during some of these other kind of seedier parts, kind of rapey parts that they had. As I said, they were able to get away with a whole lot on that one. But the other thing was, I going to tell you something else. This is John
Wick, man.
Yeah, I know it's John Wick, but there was something else that I wanted to talk about and riff on for the next 5 minutes. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. Big Sister Shelley says John Wick is the best, and also reminding me that talaga with great grandfather was a member of the Cavite Cavalry in the province back in the day. So I guess I got a little bit more than a little bit of Filipino blood in me. So we got that 888. Oh, I remember what I wanted to talk about. This one woman here, Claudine Gay. Claudine Gay and the entire unwoke world is going, yeah, that's it. She's resigned from her position over at Harvard, and then got to take everything comes with a grain of salt. And they did not can her because she didn't want to get in front of students that believe that the Palestinians have a right to obliterate the Israelis and the Jews from the planet, and she kind of hemmed and hawed her way around the answers to all kinds of, I thought, pretty direct questions at a hearing in Congress not that long ago, and then it starts coming out that she's got a reputation for plagiarism, and so they say that her resignation as the president of Harvard has to do with these allegations of plagiarism. On the screen right now, I put this up here. I thought it was funny, and this is the statement from Claudine. Says, "I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Who's that? Whose song is that, Real Joe?
Linkin Park.
Linkin Park. She's plagiarizing Linkin Park in that song.
Go.
So in my mind, I'm looking at this, going, yeah, and then I found out, okay, so it's not. It doesn't have anything to do with her embracing the Palestinian cause and not having the courage to say so in Congress. But the other part was apparently she's not left Harvard. She's got it like a teaching position or a staff position at Harvard. Right? So it's not like, I'm resigning and I'm packing my bags and I'm going to go work on Guam. She's got a job there at Harvard still at the same pay.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
So she's not going to be at UOG next month.
No. Because they ain't going to be paying her Harvard president money. Apparently, that was, I'd heard bits and pieces of that story on the radio yesterday, and I thought, my God, they go through this process like the university, like Guam, right? This is the government of Guam. This is exactly the way we would do it here.
Parachute.
Oh yeah, we got somebody brought bad attention to Adelup. So they're gone. They're not in that position anymore. See you later, alligator. And then you find out, they've still got a job. They're special assistant to somebody and so and so. And they were able to keep their old salary in that position.
Special programs.
Yeah, but at least they're not us. Yeah. Exactly the way it works. Otherwise, we don't have the temerity to terminate you because we know that you'll still win over in the civil service court, and you're going to come back. We're going to have to give you back pay, and then it doesn't actually do anybody any good. So I thought, good job, Gov Guam, because we apparently do things the Harvard way. The Harvard way. And thank you, Claudine Gay. What a wonderful example you set for all of the students that are going to be attending college and Harvard. Closing in on 9 o'clock in the morning. 888-825-5888-TALK. Number of other items in the table of contents. And one of them is, what happened to all the composition books on Guam?
Oh, you mean those little notebooks with the black and white speckles all over?
Yes. Yeah. The last time I went to Payless, I must have bought all the last ones over at Payless.
People like to journal nowadays, right?
I am, apparently. I am, I don't want to say that I'm having a hard time, doing the show on a regular basis, but I've got a routine. God, 2023-24 has been the year for the change in the routine. Used to have 2 newspapers in the morning. Used to be able to write all my notes in the composition book. I got composition books going back to the first show that we ever did on this radio station, and I've always had 2 or 3 extras around. And I realized last week that I'd used the last page of my composition book, and I thought, no problem, just run over to Payless and see what they've got. First of all, they moved the student and school section over at Payless.
No, chaos.
Yes. Yes. It cost me an extra $20 because I was buying stuff that wasn't, what the hell, I'm here, right? Anyway, so they moved all the school supplies to over by the pharmacy end, and they don't have any of these the composition books that I'm looking for. I'm using a spiral notebook, my least favorite of all note-taking devices. And as soon as I get my hands on some new composition books, that's the way it's going to work. Anybody on base? Never mind. I don't need the TV. I don't need the dog food. Do you have composition books? 200 pages or so, and regular ruling. That would be great. 888-825. I already gave you the phone number. Never mind. You got to stop down now for Fox News. Trina S.A. going to be in the studio talking about GCC before too much longer, and another hour, fun-filled, action-packed hour of The Ray Gibson Show ahead.
I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Former President Trump has asked the U.S. Supreme Court to review a ruling barring him from the Republican ballot in Colorado. In December, the Colorado Supreme Court ruled Trump could be removed from the ballot for his role in the January 6th Capitol riot. His attorney, Alina Habba.
You can't call someone an insurrectionist that never did an insurrection, that's never been guilty of an insurrection. It's un-American, it's ridiculous, and it's frankly election interference at its finest.
On Fox is the story with Martha McCallum. Yesterday, Trump filed an appeal of the ruling by Maine's Secretary of State, blocking him from the ballot in that state. House Speaker Mike Johnson leading a group of congressional Republicans as they travel to Eagle Pass, Texas, to get a firsthand look at the situation at the border. Johnson accusing the administration of causing the border crisis.
Since the time that President Biden took office, the administration has done next to nothing to protect the border. But we've all seen with our own eyes, they have opened the border wide to the entire world. It's estimated that nearly 170 countries have people coming in and flowing across this border.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre.
He believes in order to get the work done at the border, we need more resources. DHS needs more resources.
Our Border Patrol agents need more resources. We need more immigration judges. We need more resources to get this done.
Customs and Border Patrol reports record numbers of crossings last month. The Justice Department has just sued Texas over a new law that would allow police to arrest migrants who enter the U.S. illegally. A New Jersey imam who was shot multiple times outside a mosque has died. Imam Hassan Sharif was in his vehicle early this morning when he was shot more than once near the mosque in Newark. Authorities are searching for a shooter, but they say there's no evidence the shooting was motivated by anti-Muslim bias. America is listening to Fox News.
Boss, I got run over by a forklift.
Boss, I crashed a company truck.
What do we do? Our warehouse and inventory are gone.
Hi, this is Dave Silva from AB Risk Solutions, and it's time for Risk 101. Everything you just heard are examples of risk your businesses can face. Our job is to ask the hard what-if questions and teach you how to reduce your exposures and help you recover if things go sideways. We've got decades of experience in Micronesia working with businesses big and small. Call AB Risk Solutions today at 777-2668 for a free inspection and quote.
AB Risk Solutions, formerly known as Aon.
Hafa-day. Alex Dimapon here from Security Title. Title reports, escrow forms, signatures, statements, and title insurance. When it comes to buying, selling, or refinancing your property, we do it all for you. At Security Title, we enjoy watching your dreams come true and being the ones to make sure it happens just as you planned. Call the professionals at Security Title. We are here to help.
Parts of the East Coast are preparing for the first big storm of the season.
A messy travel weekend could be in store for the East Coast, which is bracing for a nor'easter. The first significant storm in 2 years is expected in parts from New York to Washington, D.C., while flooding rain takes aim at areas further south, with a flash flood threat extending from southern New Jersey to Florida. The storm is forecast to develop along the Gulf Coast Friday, and an area of low pressure moves up the East Coast this weekend. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
New allegations have come to light against a former TV reality competition show producer.
The producer of So You Think You Can Dance and American Idol, Nigel Lithgow, is facing a second sexual assault lawsuit days after Paula Abdul filed one. In the new lawsuit, the women identified as Jane Doe KG and Jane Doe KL, both contestants on the competition show All American Girl in 2003, alleged that the producer brought them to a house after the show's wrap party and made sexual advances on both of them, attempting to kiss both women. The suit also alleges that earlier during the taping of the show, Lithgow walked on set and swatted and groped the contestants' buttocks. Abdul sued Lithgow on Friday, alleging that he groped her and forcibly kissed her in an elevator about 20 years ago. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul says she will push schools to re-emphasize phonics in literacy programs. The proposal, which still needs the approval of the state legislature, would require the state education department to put together new guidelines that districts would have to follow by September 2025. New York, like other states, has seen reading proficiency scores dip after the pandemic closed schools and forced classes online. Last year, data show fewer than half of third-grade students in New York read at proficient levels in state tests. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
Yikes! Are those expensive credit card bills arriving? Well, we can help. Bank Pacific has launched our New Year's Resolution Solution personal loan with annual percentage rates as low as 7.49%. Ready to pay off your credit cards or for whatever you want, starting at 7.49% APR. Apply in person or online at bankpacific.com and come join us. We're still celebrating. Equal credit opportunity lender. Conditions apply. Happy New Year.
At Wendy's, we serve delicious food done right by cutting every fresh ingredient daily, never cutting corners. Literally, our quality square beef is always served hot off the grill in every hamburger, like our Baconator, which has so much crispy bacon you don't have to ask for extra. And we don't just make delicious spicy chicken sandwiches, we invent them. Because at Wendy's, we do things right. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's. Head on over today.
Calling all business owners. This holiday season, treat your business to an upgrade with Docomo Pacific's festive business mobile plans. Whether you're decking the halls with a new phone or bringing your own device, unwrapped savings of $20 a month. Delight in unlimited talk and text locally and to the U.S., plus enjoy the gift of data roaming to the U.S., Japan, Korea, and the Philippines. Visit business.docomopacific.com today for more details. Some conditions apply.
Ray Gibson Show being brought to you by APL. American President Lines is delivering the future. Also being brought to you by the team over at NissanGuam.com. And it's a new ride, new you. Change your life. No, I'm serious. Change your life. Change your ride. Your entire attitude changes when you are behind the wheel of a car that is more you than anything else. You got levels of sophistication. Maybe you need some power. They've got all kinds waiting for you over at Nissan. Versa, Sporty Sentra, sophisticated Altima, and the Powerhouse Maxima, just to name a few. Savings here, almost up to $10,000 off. So you're already getting a deal on the... You want better? You want more? All right, how about this? The first 6 months are on Nissan. They will take care of the first 6 months' worth of payments for you. Aren't you glad that you didn't buy anything last week? All right, so go NissanGuam.com and the World Wide Web. Get yourself pre-approved. Find out just how much Nissan that you can buy, and then let their financial experts put together the rest of the deal. Discounts already, and then the idea that they're going to take care of the first 6 payments. It all starts with a quick trip to the showroom or NissanGuam.com.
Real Talk Radio is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now. 888-TALK. That's
888-825-55. Where's the Epstein list? That's what I was doing while the news and the commercials was playing.
Is our name on that list, Ray?
No. No, I don't. Cannot. I don't know anybody named Epstein. I had nothing to do with all of that. I you know what? What will we see on that? Will there be some, enough there to drain some swamps? Do you suppose? When it's all done, and my guess is that we have seen the list before. If you spend any time on X or Twitter, you've probably seen what these lists already look like, because there have been leaks since forever. But I think they're waiting for the court sanctioned. Here is the list of everybody that is known to have been on the Lolita Express with Epstein out to the Epstein Island to do whatever it was that they were doing there, and all kinds of conversations about depravity and and however you want to define that. But today is the day that list is at least a few names on the list is supposed to come out. But I'm interested to see what the contents of the list are, but I'm not confident that anything is going to happen. I'm not confident that anything is going to happen. Everybody's got, and they've had ample time to come up with their excuses, or no, that's not me, or no, I don't know how that got there. It's some kind of a hit job. No. That's a deep, what do they call it? The deep fakes is what that is. I don't know. I was here with this, and somebody else will vouch for the fact that I was nowhere near Epstein Island. I was visiting churches in Portugal at the time, and nowhere near any of that, working with poor people in Haiti, whatever it is. They're going to come up with something like that. Will anything actually happen as a result of that? Which is the same question that we ask about all kinds of stuff. Will anything happen? We now know that the laptop was real, and that there were 30-some-odd people, so-called experts, that lied and said it was Russian interference. And then we know that the media, after hearing that, said, oh, okay, nothing to see here, and never reported anything further on it. And there are a number of voters that said that would have changed. If they had known that was out there and that the laptop was real, that would have changed their vote in the last election. Big enough to make a change on who would have won? I don't know. We'll play that game for the rest of our lives, but I think it is kind of an interesting thing that we've got the paperwork that's going to be coming out. Are there names that you're looking at going, well, I used to like him in the movies. I thought he was a pretty good actor, but now that I found out his name was on the thing, I don't think I'm going to like him in the movies anymore. Not going to watch any of that stuff anymore. Will that take place? Will it drain the Washington, D.C. swamps? Will it drain the Hollywood swamp? Is another one of the questions that we like to ask. Anyway, 9:11 in the morning on that one. Bunch of headlines that I haven't really had a chance to go through. I might have mentioned them, or they might have come up in the news. But interesting one here. Julianne Hernandez, I think over at KUAM, did a follow-up. Fireworks bill author speaks on the recent New Year's Day accident. Say what you want to about the fireworks measure and the priorities of the legislature. But it was introduced. It had its public hearings, and it was passed by the legislature, governor's office now, and now it just needs regulations. Is that bill the reason why a bunch of people got sent to the hospital on New Year's Eve? No, it's not. I don't think it had anything. I don't think one thing had to do with the other. I think, it's one of those deals. It's New Year's on Guam. People do stupid things, alarmingly stupid things on New Year's night. They will fire off their guns, bang, 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 bang up in the air. And we have, in our lifetimes, seen people with injuries as a result of those bullets doing what bullets do, and that is coming back down to earth. There was a girl on a boat somewhere a few years ago that felt some pain in her shoulder. A bullet came down on her. Could have been worse, obviously. Those are the kind of dumb things that we do. Are there, and you go, well, yeah, but, we got this legislation now. Everybody thinks it's legal. No, it's not what Dwayne was trying to do at all. He wanted to make it so that you and I could go, as he points out in the story, we can go to Acme store. Like in old days. And I'm going to go with my uncle while my uncle's buying his what do you call it? Zigzag man rolling paper. I'm going to get we're going to get us some fireworks. and then the cool thing was, everybody knew what you did with it. You stick them in the ground and you light the fuse and you run away. And, if you did it right and if they weren't mahangi already, you'd get a pretty decent show out of these kinds of things. That's what he wants to bring us back to, but never wanted to make it so that you could, quote, improvise your own fireworks in the backyard. That had nothing to do with his intentions. And that's what people do, is they improvise their fireworks and their noisemakers in the middle of the night. And sometimes it's, good outcome. Sometimes the worst of it is it makes your dog bark or uncomfortable, and sometimes you're going to get doused with some kind of inflammatory material and find yourself at the hospital. And it's not Dwayne's fault. It's your own fault. That's what you get, as they say in Chamorro. Are you going to do it again? Yes. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
Of course.
We'd go to that same house. This time on New Year's. I wouldn't surprise. You know what? We did it wrong. This time we'll get it right. This is the time that we're going to get it right. So I don't know. I don't know about Kane Dwayne. I feel like he's sincere. His heart's in the right place. Not everybody's going to agree with the legislation that he proposes. And if you don't like it, don't vote for him again when it comes to be election time in 306 days from today. 9:14. Then there's this story I thought was interesting. Another one from KUAM News. More than 100 grams of crystal methamphetamine intercepted in the mail. The warrant was executed in last January, but the case was just unsealed in the district court. The drugs were found inside an acai bowl mix package. Total of 122 grams worth of methamphetamine. Court documents state the drugs were mailed from an address in Corona, California, to a house up in Dededo. Tested presumptive positive for meth. That's when the feds replaced the drugs with sham and a tracker.
The sham.
One of these days.
It's a sham.
Do we grow our own sham here?
Yeah.
Is that?
I think it's Ajinomoto, Ray.
I'm sorry to be silly about it. I really don't know. When they say it's sham, what do you mean sham? Is this something that looks and feels and tastes like it? Or is it just, we put something else in there so it feels like your package has arrived, but it's also got an Apple AirTag on the inside of it, and they carried out the investigation. But there it is in a acai bowl. I don't know that I've ever actually had acai in my life.
Oh, wow. You're missing out, man.
If I have, have, it was something that they blended into a smoothie, and I just didn't know. When I remember getting excited about this some time ago. I said, hey, let's go out later on and get some acai. And I did not hear ACAI. I heard ASAHI, as in Asahi beer.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. So I'm like, oh man, this is great. You know, we just finished a run or something. We just finished a 10K or something like that. I'm like, wow, that's a great idea. Let's go. Who do you think is open that we can get some acai beers this early? And they're like, Ray, we're talking about acai smoothies. We're going to go to the coffee place and get acai smoothies. I'm like, wow. This is the biggest disappointment maybe in my entire life. 9:16 in the morning. Take a quick break and then bring Trina and friends in from the Guam Community Place.
Whoever said no risk, no reward has never been sued. Hi, I'm Dave Silva from AB Risk Solutions, and our job for over 70 years has been to help businesses just like yours manage risk. Manage risk? We will never be able to totally eliminate the myriad of risks every business faces, but we can help you manage them and recover when disaster strikes. From mom and pop operations to high-rise hotels, we're the experts businesses have counted on for many years. Call me today at 777-2668 for a free risk review and consultation.
AB Risk Solutions, formerly known as Aon.
What's that, pizza?
It's KFC's $25 fill-up box.
Does this mean pizza night is now chicken night?
Oh, yes, it's chicken night. Kentucky Fried Chicken night. Oh, yes, it's chicken night. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night.
Make it a chicken night with KFC's $25 fill-up box. Get 12 nuggets, 4 biscuits, 4 pieces of chicken, a large serving of fries, and 4 sauces of your choice. Order online at kfcguam.com or WhatsApp 300-3278. That's finger licking good.
For all your real estate needs, call the professionals at Hoffaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, and Lolita, and they'll take care of you on every step of the real estate process. No worries. Just contact Hoffaday Realty at 588-4232 or 588-HOFFA or email them at hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. They're at 426 Challenge San Antonio, Suite 204 in Tamuning. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. Hoffaday Realty for all your real estate needs.
20 after 9 o'clock in the morning, 888-825-5888-TALK. What's on your to-do list for 2024? Are you going to embark on running? Are you going to do something healthy for yourself? Are you going to improve yourself physically? Are you going to improve yourself mentally? Are you going to find different places in your life that maybe could bring you some I don't know, a little bit more positive attention over at work or something like that? I used to be a thing, and I try to do this every year until I realize, you know what, I'm already smart enough. I don't need to learn anything else. But I'd try to learn something different every year. I'd get a certification program, whether it was online or just self-help courses, things like that. And I kept that up for quite some time, and I just haven't really been inspired to try anything differently. But there's always the idea that when I need to, I can go back to GCC because I check most of it's made of concrete, and there's all kinds of places where you might find yourself, looking for an opportunity for self-improvement. Maybe it's just something I want to be. I had a boss. Ernie was my boss, and we had a program at Guam Cable TV back in the day where you could go and take a course over at GCC, and if it was even remotely related to what you did in the office, and you got a grade better than a C, company pay you back. Right? So everybody go there. And so Ernie one year took a course in mixology. He took a course in mixology and said, well, something, we do these bar remotes and things like that. Maybe it'd be good to have a little bit of knowledge handy, and the company paid him back. He took a course in heavy equipment.
Wow.
Heavy equipment as well, and the company paid him back for all of that stuff as well. If you were somebody in HR in a shop, you might want to consider adding that to your employee playbook. It's a great benefit, and there's lots of different ways that you might be able to get something going with Guam Community College. Trina's in the studio along with Ave Maria Garcia from we've done the interview before. You're like from the front office enrollment things.
I'm the registrar.
Registrar. There it is. Again, it's the registrar. There's a big name there that gets you 1% less on your loan over at the bank. Oh, you're a registrar. Good job.
I don't know about that.
Try it one time and prove me wrong. Anyway, good to have you in the studio. Happy New Year to both of you.
Happy New Year.
Well, thanks for bringing food. What'd you get?
Albert said I was pronouncing it wrong. It's hopia. I don't know. He's like, you mean this? And then I was like, just eat it.
Is it hopia?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a little bread thing with hopia topping on. Yeah.
Now, did you bring it from GCC?
From Main Street.
Oh, from Main Street. Okay.
I tried to get the donuts, but they said 30
Dude,
minutes.
you
I was
gotta,
like, no.
You got to show up at 5 if you want to.
Yeah.
If you want to get donuts, and then check your name on the registry, and you check your credit and all of that before. I guess that those are some of the best donuts, though. They're awesome.
are.
I used to, when I was in jury duty, there was a guy that was in the same jury pool as I was, and that's where he'd go every Thursday morning when we were in the Thursday league at the courthouse, and that's where he went, and those things disappeared.
Yes.
Oh, it just, if you didn't get one, sorry, that's your fault for coming in so late. How come you didn't bring it from the culinary at GCC?
Because last year, yes, in 2023, we broke ground on the renovation and upgrade to the new culinary kitchen.
I recall.
So they are, how do I say?
They're
homeless?
they are
On
temporarily housed
at Leo
at the Leo Palace, and Leo Palace
Oh,
has
wow.
graciously partnered with GCC, most especially with our culinary program, to allow our chefs and our students to continue their education utilizing their kitchen.
Wow.
Yeah, so we have a very, very good partnership with Leo Palace, and we thank them for that. And we look forward to the new renovation to the
Before
new
it gets
culinary.
well,
Yes.
give you an example of just how good things are over at Guam Community College and that program and that plan. You know, we've always talked about how great it is because there's always been a great relationship between GCC, virtually every kitchen and major chef on Guam, and
Absolutely.
any hotel you care to name has spent some time in that classroom with those kids, and many of those students have been able to turn that experience into jobs in the hotel. I had an interview with Sela Chong a few months back when
She's a darling.
She is a darling, and I've known her since little girl, and we were all very, very excited in the family to find out that she is the first Guamanian to be accepted at the Cordon Bleu in Paris, France.
Yes.
Yeah, it is nice, and she got most of her background and upbringing in the culinary field with Guam Community College, and then as soon as she got as soon as she knew everything they were worth teaching over at the school, she went to go work at the Hyatt in their kitchen.
Yes.
And just suffice to say, when I find out that there's going to be culinary treats over at the house, I'll be there.
You're there.
Yes, I will be there.
She's great.
And so there's a whole lot of opportunities, and it's not just the culinary program. So as registrar of the Guam Community College, what is the big deal? Are you guys open enrollment now?
Well, open enrollment has actually began since October of last year. So we always open, the next semester early on to allow students new and continuing to register early and get those classes that they need to accommodate their schedules. And so classes are beginning next week, Wednesday. First day of classes is next week, Wednesday. But registration won't end until next week, Friday. And so we have extended, our time to allow those who, are entering 2024, trying to figure out what they want to do to better themselves, to better their lives, to better their careers, maybe to upskill, maybe to have a new skill. And so we've opened up that registration until next week, Friday.
All right. So where can I find out what classes are still available for me to jump into?
Okay, so they can log into guamcc.edu and go under our admissions tab and click on the schedule of classes, and it'll list all the classes that are available. One thing that's good is we have online features. So if you're a continuing student, you can definitely do this at home through your mobile phone. Now, if you're how can we say, like a stop-out student. So let's say, for instance, you came and you were attending, the last time you attended was in 2021 and you missed 2 consecutive, you would need to come in and visit us, and we'll
Reevaluate, where were you in the
Exactly.
process when it stopped, and you know
and
what
maybe
do
you might even want to change your major at
Oh
this
yeah.
time.
Well, but you know what needs to get finished in order to finish the path that you were on. What do you maybe need to do over, or has it been so much time has passed by you're no longer interested in that field?
Yes.
By the way, we can do this now.
That is correct.
Yeah. All
and
right.
so we have awesome staff that will assist at the counter, over the phone, whatever we can do to assist you. So we are available. Now, financially,
Well, you read my mind. That's where I was going.
A lot of students, that's what holds them back is the financial piece of attending college. And so unfortunately our financial aid department, Mr. Vic Fernandez and Vivian and Gemma, they're all entertaining our students right now because they're giving them their deferment letters to pay their tuition and to get their supplies that they need for the first day of class. But in regards to financial aid, you don't know until you actually apply for financial aid. And the thing about it is, when I was going to college back in 2003, the Pell Grant amount was only it was cheap back then, right? But the Pell Grant amount was only like $4,000 for the whole entire academic year, and that involves a fall and a spring semester. Now it's at $7,300, if I'm not mistaken. It may have gone up, but that's a lot. That's a lot of money. And you take that and you half it into, and you basically have like almost $4,000 a semester,
right?
For tuition and fees and your books and supplies, whatever you need. And nothing ever comes out of your pocket if you qualify for the full amount.
Right.
Yeah. And so but you never know.
But you don't know
until
whether you qualify until you actually make the
correct.
application, as they see what happens. And there's so many other places, I found that Mario Cotta and people like you say, there's a lot of people for whom maybe that's not going to work, but there are other ways. Veterans have so many different opportunities.
That is correct.
And so much access to all of these benefits that they have earned because of their service that follows them into the schools.
That's correct. And I was actually about to just lead into that. Is Mr. Vic Fernandez is our VA representative. He's our certifying officer at GCC.
Yeah.
And he knows the ins and outs of the VA process. And so for those active duty members, active duty reservists, National Guard, or just active duty period, utilizing their GI Bill or their post 9/11, or maybe they're under a voc rehab program under the VA.
Because whatever it was that you were doing in the war, there might not be a civilian equivalent. So we've got to train you to do something else.
That is correct.
Yep.
So Mr. Vic will, if you're not sure where to go, Vic is there to assist all those active duty or even veterans with the process.
Sometimes, and I'm learning more about this the more time I spend with veterans, there are cases now where you're the veteran, but you've already done with school, but you got a wife and you got kids in the house. They can sometimes also be beneficiaries of your veteran status.
That is correct.
Or your active status, and they can go to school, low cost, no cost under your benefits package.
That is correct.
All you got to do is ask.
And we have a lot of young students who are actually utilizing their parents or their guardians VA benefits.
Yeah, I bet they buy that cheap gas too.
Oh yeah. And the other thing about it is, what at least for the younger generation is your parents. If your parent is a veteran or an active duty service member and they have transferred things to you, such as educational benefits, they should take advantage of it, because there are a lot more things that come with that. It's for example, if a son or a daughter is utilizing this benefit, if they are a full-time student, they don't understand that they actually just don't get money for their tuition and fees. They actually get housing allowance also to help them with this process. Yes. And
like help mom and dad with the rent?
They can, if that's what mom and dad wants.
Wow.
But yeah, it can. It's actually in like the
or
$2,000
they can go
range.
get an apartment with their classmates. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's
exert
a
little bit of
independence.
independence.
And there's a lot of benefits to that. And that's what a lot of these kids need to understand is if they have that benefit available to them, they should utilize it. And not, it's just housing allowance, but it also helps them with the gas, or if their car breaks down, or, you know, at least they have something to help them with that. And then, of course, you know, mom and dad.
Yeah, stipend, 9:30 in the morning. Her name is Ave Garcia, and she's the registrar with the Guam Community College. Trina's here in the background just breathing, and we'll contribute as she finds it available. But there were a couple of other things about the enrollment process over at GCC, and I want to say that there might be a little bit of testing going on, and I can never remember the name of the Works program, but it's the one that you take this test and it kind of give you an idea of Work Keys, I think is the name of it, and it really is. I mean, obviously it's an aptitude test of one kind or another, ability to comprehend instructions, be able to do formulas, and that kind of thing. And it's not very long, and it's worth doing if for no other reason to find out if you're smarter than I am. And I scored very, very well on that test. You're not allowed to talk about it. It's supposed to be like confidential. Yeah, but anyway, so I did very well on the test. I was really, really happy about it. But it was I've already in my career path. But for so many other people that might not have an idea, this might guide you into some of the things where you might be more adept at, more interested in doing, because it is a big catalog at Guam Community College. There's a number of things that you can study. Some of it will help you with the basics if you want to move to the University of Guam or another institution. After that, we've got all of those programs. There are the traditional vocational technical skills that you can add to that, and even some of the things that I think are kind of interesting, and is the beautician school. There's a beauty school at GCC, cosmetology,
and it's a full-on lab. You have your.
It looks like a barbershop in there.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And so it's a very good program. And a lot of people, there's actually a waiting list for that particular program.
I believe
it's an industry certification, right? But
Janice and Francis do such a great job, right?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They do a wonderful job with their students. And I actually, before Christmas, I went to the beauty salon and I saw, our students in the workforce. And so that's our main goal.
Yeah.
Our main goal is to make sure that we provide the highest quality student-centered education and job training for the region. And that's what we focus on. And so, in regards to that, a lot of our programs, one of our major programs that has a very high enrollment would be our computer science UOG track, because this entire program transfers over to UOG. The entire, from gen eds to the major requirements, they transfer over to UOG. So by the time our students reach UOG, they're already at
junior senior level,
Yeah, so they only need 2 more years at UOG to complete their bachelor's degree.
Now, on top of that, just as when you identify yourself in that program, you're a target already for employment. There's telecom all over the place, and everything. This is going to be a boom couple of years for people in the IT industry, period.
For real.
Watch how this is going to happen. If you can't get a job here, trust me, they'll hire you up in Saipan, because there's work going on up there, and there's work going to be done up in Tinian as well.
Yes.
There's all kinds of places where you got fibers and cables running through the Mariana Islands. Telecom's a hotspot.
Is a job, a career that will not die.
If you know anything about fiber optics, you guys have a fiber optics program there.
Yes.
Okay,
computer networking.
Computer networking, and if you're doing any kind of fiber optics, splicing, things like that, there's also going to be boom here as well. At least one of the telecom companies is already running fiber in the villages right now. That's what you see on the poles. Maybe you got a little black box on a pole near your house. That's fiber optics. There's another telecom company that want to dig fiber optics to your house, to the house, and they've already started that in some villages, and they can't get their hands on enough guys that know how to do that kind of thing. I've got a fiber install into this building right now, and as great as the guys were, we had to wait until they had their team available to get it all done. So you got those programs, electronics, IT, all of that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Nursing,
accounting. We have supervision and management. We got visual communications and marketing, which is also a hot program. And students in these 2 programs, they usually double major. Visual communications and marketing. So these students, they actually get 2 majors most of the time.
You need to give Gene another classroom,
I need to give Gina Cepeda
yes, you need to give her another class.
classroom.
Yeah, because every time that she's got these cohorts that graduate, and bam, they get hired out. I've been trying to hire a couple of kids from her program for a long time, but they're kind of working already in all kinds of other fields. There's content providers, content generators that are coming out these days. Now I gotta ask this question because we have vocational technical training here, and every field. Every industry in the world seems to be adding artificial intelligence components to that. To what degree are GCC programs evolving to include whatever the latest and greatest AI feature is, say in nursing or in graphics and commercial design?
We at GCC, we try to keep abreast of the latest and the greatest, right? And so I know, at least from my perspective, that the education that we provide to our students is at the latest that we have here on the island, right? And so that's really all I could really say in regards to that. We try to stay abreast in the latest and the greatest to ensure that when we send our students out to the workforce, that they are prepared for what the industry has.
And it used to be just entry level now, but you're sending out people that have got quality certifications. I will always roll back on one of my favorites, and that is Cisco certification. I mean, that's the heart of virtually every network that works on Guam. It's not the easiest thing in the world. It's not the hardest thing in the world, but there are certification programs, and you can get one at GCC. You can get your Cisco certs over at GCC, and once you have that, that is a ticket to your boss's office for a raise. That is a ticket if you ever have to leave and go find a job somewhere. If you are Cisco certified, that's almost an automatic entry into virtually any telecom or networking organization on the planet.
With telecom,
Everybody.
a lot of the instruction is actually based off Cisco, so we use that Cisco background or those features to train our students.
I got a couple of friends, even in the accounting shop, and there's a couple of big accounting firms on Guam, and they've got entire rooms dedicated, network rooms, and it's all Cisco servers up and down. On the inside of that, it switches and plenty more. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then maybe you ought to take a course in that. So your IT guy was the other thing. You got an accountant, and he takes care of all of the accounting stuff, and maybe it's a good idea for you to get some accounting in your background so that you guys can talk to each other in the same language, and your accountant cannot bamboozle you. Same with other technical fields that are in there. I brought up nursing for a reason. Is Guam doesn't have enough nurses.
They don't.
And I know that between GCC and the University of Guam, you guys are making as many places available for students that want to get into these programs. What do you suppose it would take to enlarge that a little bit more and make it so that we've got more chairs, more desks, more teachers to get more people into the nursing programs?
Right now, yes, we struggle with some faculty, full-time faculty, but the ones that we do have, they're amazing because of the fact that they are pushing out these students, and we are running our nursing program through like a cohort. So not anybody and everybody can get into our nursing program. There is, like UOG.
Oh my God, Becky!
There is a process.
Yes, and there are academic standards that you better meet. If you don't, somebody else sits in that chair.
That is correct. And there are questions that there are how can I say, an essay that is required of these students prior to entry, because that's the evaluation.
Right. That's what you use the AI for. Let the artificial intelligence write that for you, and then you turn that in.
Right. and basically it's some of the questions, at least one question that I see is very important is, why do you want to become a nurse? You know what I'm saying? Why do you want to become a nurse? Because becoming a nurse is a very hard job. You have to have the passion to do that, and you have to have the patience, and you have to have really good bedside manner. to deal with patients in all age groups.
I'm delighted to know several nurses. One or two might be listening right now, and it always floors me that there's so many other places that you could work. There's so many other hospitals in the world where you could be doing that nursing gig. But wow, here we are on Guam, and they're loving life and they're loving the jobs that they've got there. And many of them students from GCC and the University of Guam.
It's a stressful job. Just like being a first responder out there,
Yeah.
the GPD, GFD, it's a very stressful job for nurses, most especially when there's not enough.
I'm sorry. I keep wanting to ask some of my nurse friends, hey, you want to look at my boil? You want to take a look at my boil? Yeah, well, let's earn that nursing degree that you got at the place. Well, me, I'm the kind of guy, I just go to the bookstore and buy the test practice book and see what happens after that. Tony, away from the top of the hour. It's always good to have you in the studio.
Thank you for always having us, and GCC is a wonderful place to be.
Yeah.
We have a very close-knit family. We know our students, even if they just call us on the phone. And some of our students, they actually call us personally.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do you think you can help me? I'm having issues with this. And, and that's the environment that we have for our students.
I've had a good time, and in all the years I've been on the radio talking to people over at GCC, working with some of the students at GCC, and I've always been a fan of the program here. I'm one of those. Not everybody needs to go to college, guys, and I think there are a lot of people that would be better served to be able to find a vocation, something that they've got the passion for, as you say, be able to get an education and a quality education in it without having to spend a whole lot of money. I worry about all of these kids that we're sending to school that are taking out these massive student loans, and they'll be my age before they've paid everything off, and then they get into a career that maybe isn't as good a fit as something that they've really got the passion for. And it's nice that we're very lucky that when I was a boy, we had Votech we could send the boys to, and they could learn about cars, and they could learn about electricity and plumbing, and it's
And
nice.
you still can.
And you still can,
They
which
still
is
can.
another thing.
With the latest and the greatest, right? And we, like I said, we have wonderful programs, and registration is open, and it's open till next week, Friday.
Right.
We are there. We do not close for lunch.
Hey.
Okay. We are open all day, 8 to 5. And so please come and visit us. And we will, assist you and get you in and out as best as we can.
If for no other reason, ask for an excuse to go and tour the campus. I think you're going to like what you see. There's so much to go.
Plenty.
Now, if I was a student there, can I use your gun range?
As a student, if you are under the criminal justice program going through the academy.
Real Joe, what do you say? Oh, I got to be going through the academy?
You have to.
I can't just sign up for it because I'm interested in it? Where are we going to shoot our gun? Mano.
Because of the liability.
Not
Oh,
there.
right. 942, 943. I used to live in that area, and I used to lay down for a nap in the afternoon, and every once in a all right, must be time to wake up. Gotcha. In 15 or so minutes, it'll be 10 o'clock in the morning. Thanks so much for coming by, Trina. Thanks for bringing the hope here to the radio. I don't know. Don't take anything that I say for gospel.
Donna said to bring food. I guess
And then
she
she
was thinking
split.
about
Well,
you
she's not feeling good. Anyway, so we'll take a quick break, maybe a selfie or two while we're doing that, and then come back and finish the show.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile Team, conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3. Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
Listen up. This is the message that could change your life forever. Registration for the spring 2024 semester at the Guam Community College is now in full swing.
Whether you're a returning student or a newcomer eager to begin a new academic adventure, Guam Community College has something amazing in store for you.
Now getting registered is easier than ever. You can now secure your spot online at guamcc.edu/apply.
You can also register in person at the administration building anytime between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday.
Don't miss out on this opportunity to build your brighter tomorrow.
Guam Community College, the key to unlocking your potential.
Do you or a loved one suffer from severe joint, muscle, or bone pain? Do you currently suffer from autoimmune conditions such as gout, lupus, or rheumatoid arthritis? If so, Guam Regional Medical City is here to help. GRMC is pleased to welcome Dr. Tirakanok, Guam's only rheumatology provider. For more information, visit grmc.gu or contact GRMC's referral office at 671-633 GRMC. That's 671-633-4762.
The 945 Ray Gibson Show and technology. And you know what I might actually have a good time is I'd like to be a teacher. I mean, some people have said I've got a little bit of a teacher's spark in me. Do you like me being a teacher in front of your kids? Yeah. You ever hear that song, Every Breath You Take? Anyway, because I like my toys. I like my technology. I have got a pretty cool video alarm thing over at the house.
Oh yeah, you have one of those Ring.
Well, I got on top of I've got all kinds of surveillance and things like that at the house. I'm adding to it in the next couple of days. There's a couple of spots around the house that I'd like to be able to see a little bit more clearly. And now that I've got these big ass solar lights in the house. On the outside, I'm thinking, okay, now's a good time to get those areas not just lit up all the time, but also surveilled and recorded. So I've got some technology that's coming in, and it's electricity over IP. So here's the trivia: there's voltage going through the same wires as the signal is, and you might be going, how is that possible? What magic is that possible? And it's the same concept as phantom power with microphones. Is you've got the audio and that travels in alternating current, and the video is direct current, or the power is direct current. And direct current and alternating current can exist in the same carrier at the same time. Boom. Mind totally blown at the concept of how all of this works, because I never knew that before until I took a course in this kind of thing. So that's my big trivia here today, is that AC and DC can travel in the same thing without interfering with each other. Nobody knows why. God did it that way.
Thank you,
947 on screen is a dog. I think because I'd mentioned that after watching John Wick, maybe I want a dog. And Tattoo Sean has sent me a picture of this one. And I don't know. There's no other story behind it. Just here's a picture of a dog. Oh, no. It's a sad story. Dog is hit, taken to game.
Oh no.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I thought you were trying to get me to have an interest in that dog.
That's a pretty dog.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's all that noise from New Year's and it got loose and couldn't find its way back home. Dogs tend to panic and freak
Looks
out
like
about
the
those
hips,
kinds
Ray.
of things.
I know the deal. $900.
But survivable.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I hope the dog doesn't stay in too much pain right about now. Thanks to Tattoo Sean. Be on the lookout for your four-legged creatures. Two-legged creatures as well. It's one of my pet peeves here on Guam. I will bristle about it every once in a while. Yeah, because I'm driving around at night, 4:30 in the morning on the way to the radio station, and I go through Magagaga Highway, and considering it's Magagaga High, typical government of Guam, right? We'll give it a big important name, and it's the slummiest section of central Guam with the worst lighting, and now there is another abandoned vehicle. It started off as just a car on the side of the road, and now there's no windows on it. All the tires were stolen, and it's just inches off the road. It's just inches off the road, and it's probably going to stay there forever. I don't know whether anybody's ever going to go after it and fix it, but that's not the point of the riff. The point of the riff was it is amazing to me the number of times that I will be driving on the road and there is a pedestrian in my lane headed the same direction as I am. So he has no idea that I'm on the road with him because he's got his back to me, wearing something dark. They're always wearing something dark. No lights, no nothing. And, it amazes me that we don't have more and more of these casualties on the road. People getting hit because they don't know how to stay off the roads, or if they are on the roads, the right way to be a pedestrian on the road. Go to the other side of the street so you can see the car coming, and they might be able to see you if you wore a brighter shirt. But everybody wants to wear a black shirt because it's macho. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making too much of it. It is a Perihelion Day. I don't really know what that means, but somebody wrote it down on a piece of paper I pay money for, so I'm throwing that out there. It has some loose connection with the December solstice And the same thing will happen during the June solstice, but it won't be the perihelion. It will be the aphelion. Perihelion is apparently we're closer to the sun now than most of the rest of the time of the year.
That's why it was hot for you yesterday.
That could be it.
Yeah.
The male menopause. Ooh, hot flash, hot flash.
No.
This is kind of interesting to me in a way that okay. Anybody knows me knows I don't have a lot of patience for like mega planet-wide organized sports. I think that for a long time, FIFA was kind of, I don't know, well-connected fat calves, if you will, and there was a whole undercurrent of ways that we can assure that you will be the next FIFA town, that we have our next big FIFA thing at. And all you have to do is, give us gazillions of dollars. I'm sure the same thing happens with the Olympics. You know, there's always been, there's a part, I was growing up in the 1970s and watching the Olympics, and it was, oh my God, it was great. And, the agony of defeat and the victory and the smell of victory, all of this, and watching, these athletes doing superhuman things, breaking records out there. And in what were supposed to be just the greatest athletic feats and the greatest athletic sports of all time. And now it's like everything is an Olympic sport. So I think in Paris, they're going to have the next Olympics there. I believe that's what I'm hearing. NBC and the Peacock Network will be covering the Paris Summer Olympics. Oh my God, aren't we lucky? You remember Japan got ripped off because COVID?
Yeah, I remember that.
Anyway, but now they're going to be in Paris, and I don't know exactly what he's going to be doing with it, but this is just a sign that the Olympics no longer really have anything to do with sports. Among the probably going to be a big commentator, maybe a host for virtual in and outs and things like that, is going to be Snoop Dogg.
Oh, great!
Yep. Yeah.
D-O-double-G. I can smell the smoke already.
What is that? What does he have to do with the Olympics? Dumber than even if you sent me to go and do the thing. What was the commercials that he was in? He was in the beer commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did that.
And he was with that white girl, that white lady that went to jail.
Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I called her a white lady that went to jail.
Well, she is a white lady. It's okay.
And she did go to jail.
Yeah, and she did. I mean, it's not. I did not hear any racial motivation in what you had to say.
You're right.
Or
Thank
if
you,
you get a chance, I don't know where else you're going to find this, but somebody asked Vivek Ramaswamy about racism. And he lit into this journalist for a couple of minutes and saying, I'm not going to buy into your little catechism here, girl. And it was a beautiful thing to watch and to listen to. It's a little bit too long to plug on the radio, but I encourage you to go to Twitter and be on the lookout for Vivek Ramaswamy. Even if you're not crazy about him and don't think it's going to be, he's going to be any kind of a nominee, or maybe he's just a little bit too rough around the edges when it came to some of these debates, or maybe it's the fact that he is way too polished. Way too polished. Jose Martinez says Snoop Dogg is going to open the games by lighting his spleef with the Olympic torch.
Nice, Jose.
What do you know about spleefs?
Never mind the national anthem. Burn the joint.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll just sit around and get on the thing. Marvin Crisostomo online. Mike, Grace, Bloss, Jerome still hanging out with us. Sarita was talking about her to-do list for 2024, and I thought this.
No.
This is nice. Sarita's nice. She's a nice girl. You get girly thoughts.
She's the nicest.
Yeah. And so what she wants to do is fill up her gratitude jar.
Oh, that's a thing now, isn't it?
With daily notes why I am thankful every day. Then read each note at the end of the year. Oh, that's a beautiful thing.
That'll bring it all back for you.
I encourage you. I encourage that. I am the guy that believes that every day you should have an excuse for a selfie. Every day. There's got to be something that you're happy about, something that you see, something that, falls into wherever it is that your eyes fall on, and you go, oh, my God, that's beautiful. Oh, my God, he's beautiful. Oh, my God, she's beautiful. Oh, this is a great thing. I want to remember how I feel today. And I don't have a gratitude jar because I'm not that guy. I'm not a gratitude jar guy. I'm a mason jar guy. But, very, very specific things go in the mason jar collection that I have at the house. But I don't have any gratitude notes that I leave for myself. I do selfies. And so what I do maybe 10, 15 minutes a day is I'll go through my photographs for the day, usually at the end of the day, and I'll find a photograph, a selfie or something that, I took a picture of or I got a picture of, and that will be what goes into a daily PDF calendar. I've told you about this before. I'll tell you again if you're looking for something, and because it's only the 4th of 2024, so there's still time to backfill a bunch of days on a calendar. So I will open my Notability, or you can use whatever your PDF reader or editor is, and note-taking device. I open it up, and so on that calendar day is going to be the picture of or the selfie or whatever that goes in there. And you don't have to wait until the end of the year to open it up and see all these things that you were grateful for or that put a smile on your face. You can do this anytime. You can do it tomorrow and just go linger back on the first 4 days of 2024, or you can wait until the end of the month. I tried. I got a copy of CapCut on my phone and my iPad, and I was and I really, really tried to be fastidious about putting together the end of the month reel. The photo dump at the end of the month. But, if you're taking selfies every day and you got other stuff that's coming in all the time, that can fill up pretty quick. And it gets to be kind of cumbersome going through all of those things. And then it also occurred to me that wow, what an ego trip that is. Where I'm going to do a photo dump and then post it on my Instagram or on my TikTok or on TikTok or on my Facebook. It's not so bad when you're doing it for yourself, but if you're doing it for yourself, that really isn't all that much of a drive to do the work and get it online. Just saying. You might want to try that, or maybe you can go with Sarita's thing. My guess, though, is I hope that Sarita has got a massive gratitude jar. Knowing her personally as I do, I believe that she's got many things to be grateful for, including being a member of this Point family. 888-825-5888-TALK, just a couple of minutes away from the top of the hour. Do we need to take a break?
No.
All right, fine. There's now I'm down for whatever.
You got 2 minutes, dude.
We were talking about technology earlier, and somebody's done some research. Modern technology is saving us the equivalent of 2 weeks every year. And you might be going, really? Because it feels like a pain in the ass sometimes. All right, modern technology that you use, and I do it too. Among my favorite reasons for having a phone with apps on it, online banking. I have not needed to walk into a bank in a long time. I just need to use the ATM to get some cash. Every once in a while, I'll deposit a check through an ATM. But otherwise, I do everything with my banks online, and that saves me, can you imagine, literally hours a month doing all of that stuff. Watching the movies. You remember back in the olden days, you pile everybody in the car, you go and get money, and then you go to the movie theater, and it's about tickets and seats and concession stand.
$900.
Yeah, and now what you do is you open Netflix on the phone or on the TV, and bang, there it is, saving you all kinds of money. GPS traffic updates. They say that alone. Even though we don't live, stateside traffic like that, I use GPS a lot. And I use it to save me time. Every once in a while, somebody will say, hey, dude, let's go down to Dumont, have a couple of drinks, blah, 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 blah. Well, what time? I don't know, about 5. I'll meet you there 5:30. 5:30, what, on a Friday? On a payday Friday? Are you out of your mind? And so I will use that to pick out the best route to save me time in traffic getting down into the Tumon area if I do get suckered into going meeting somebody down there after 5 on a Friday. Hey, listen, I do got to go. What was the last word, Sarita? You're in denial, Ray Gibson. You are grateful with the selfie pictures you take. You have a heart, even though you're a pain in the ass sometimes. Thank you so much. And we're not even married. and we're not.
That's true.
Yep. I appreciate you recognizing me for the frisky pain in the butt that that I am. It's 10 on the Ray Gibson Show. For Real Joe, Donna D, and Jerry Roberts, thanks so much for being a part of the program today. More like this tomorrow morning. And don't forget, Tall Tales at 4 right here. KUSG Agutnya, Best 3 years running. It's true. Tell a friend. I got to go. Fox News is coming up in seconds.
The Justice Department in Texas go head-to-head. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The DOJ